가지고 일단 이야기까지 나서 이야기가 드러내봐야 되고 이제는 땅이나 저거 등하고 선물도 늘도 가로 진사기 가고 선물도 또 이게 대려 이게 전에 저랑 하는 시간이 좀 많이 있어 야채도 처럼 하나도 있어 전화도 가서 야채 하나 사서 아리아 처럼 항상 가는 라이브 하던 이쯤도 그래도 같은 카데미카에서 안 되기 때문에 이도로 그다음에 세상에 제가 쓰고 있는 Jesus Christ, Amen.
Amen. Okay, which is the main kind. Out of down to numeral number 4. Review approval of the agenda, Doris. Go down to new business. Numeral number 8 on that. New business A, so that way all the minutes and everything is going to be approved of this. Okay, so how about that? Okay, so go down to new business A, selection of officers, president, vice president, secretary. All this. A
Did we start with nomination?
Nomination.
Speeches and campaign?
I'm calling for eight of this. I should say about voting, silent, a paper kai, a vote. See, if people want to can make a speech for the president, and he can
Open up that nomination.
Right now.
President first and then vice president.
I want to open up the nomination for president. If you want to run for it, then we'll go from there for the president. Then we ask the president, you know. I can't do that. Or you can nominate anybody.
Let yourself.
Oh, go ahead.
listen, I made a nomination. I'd like to nominate Charlotte Lorraine for president.
Do you want some more coffee?
Yes, please.
Sorry.
Can we get 2 ice water with lemon? Please, thank you.
So we got one nomination. Ila, do you approve or put last, or you don't want?
So this can be a community
It's within the,
or within.
Aviva,
yeah.
Okay.
That's not
Then
gonna be
you
that.
want to nominate yourself? That's an order too, you know.
Well, I would like to nominate as president just because I have a different perspective and innovative, young mind, and of course majority are older, and so I feel like I can contribute, and based on my background, school education, so I feel like I can bring more just based on my school education that I have on my back. So, and I've created some information if I do, but for right now, I'll just leave it like that.
The only thing that I'm looking at right now too, obviously all the rest really is the planning observation.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a president, you have to be at the planning, at all planning meetings and all
Yeah.
chapter meetings. that's the only thing that is in there that I see. You know, if one of us is chosen to be a president, we have to be there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And just like right now, yeah, you live a distance far, and then,
Oh, yeah.
and then your working
It's
schedule,
it's still possible, yeah.
Be a problem for it and stuff like that.
No, I think the key thing is communication between everyone, and like email, text message, that's the biggest thing. So I feel like through that, I think it's able to work. So I think I can do it too.
I have a question. Can this be applied whether you're planning, you attend a planning meeting, whether it be virtual or in person? Have they honored that back in
Nominate
the
yourself
past?
for president. So, three president. So, yeah, president of club. And then I guess give us like 3 minutes per person so we can do a speech.
Do you understand
3 minutes or 5 minutes?
Do you understand my question?
No.
3 minutes, yeah.
What I'm saying is she's saying, Lorraine is saying that to attend
That's
every meeting,
important,
or
you
every
know,
meeting,
see
at every
what,
planning
what,
meeting. So in the past, because of this
you
pandemic,
have bring it up.
now we have to go virtual, right?
So,
Does that apply
thank you.
still today?
Yeah.
Applied in the past, can continue doing it.
Yeah.
Say some days you can, right? But you can on virtually.
Yeah, virtually, yes. So that's the part where we haven't really decided if it's all gonna be like in person or
You're
like,
already being shot down because guess what?
Oh, okay.
You can do it
Yeah,
virtually.
get on
So you don't have to be physically there.
yeah.
This morning, class, I need you know.
Yes.
I'm very glad that, you know, the communication went through to everyone. I did the best I could. Anyways, catch, you know, like, I don't get it's a red nomination document. I'm interested in being the president though, because I'm not shy upon you, so I've been there for a long time, living in the area. I've been active in some of these activities that are going on under the chapter. And most likely, I have been always there at the chapter planning and chapter meeting. I am aware of the community leadership council. And then when they come to the chapter meeting, or when they're coming, requesting, you know, assistance, I evaluate the planning at the chapter meeting. You know how you know these people have been out and I've been doing that, so I'm aware of their needs. I know most of the people. I know where they live. And then I went to school. I started from being a Head Start teacher. I've been working with the parents, trying to help them. But I retired from that position, but I didn't stop there. You know, I continued to help my chapter, be in active participations at these planning and chapter meetings. Without so I've been in president positions for our local school board, Public and Prado. I'm the president there. And then at the agency, that's the whole agency wide, I'm the school board president there too now. So I know how to serve in these positions, and I know how to run these meetings. Thank you.
And another thing is I just recently, in July, I just started participating in chapter meetings And when the club was first initially announced, I think it was during the summertime, and I thought it was pertaining to like grazing, because I've gone to school for range science. So like, okay, well, I was trying to ask Diedrich, like, what is this exactly pertain to? He didn't have very much information. So I said, okay, well, I'll give it a try. So that's how, well, I wanted to be more involved with the community. So that's how I started to come and make a difference and help. Not so much in money, but I look at as helping the community. Because, of course, as a kid, a child, I grew up there, went to school there, moved away, education, now back here, coming back to the community, it looks exactly the same way. So now I want to participate. Now I want to be more involved. So with that, of course, education that I have, I feel like I can contribute a lot in communicating with everyone and getting everyone's opinion and working in that way and considering everyone's opinion. So that's why I want to be more involved, and I feel like I can contribute a lot. So because of everything kind of looking the same, and of course we had previous presidents for the chapter, and they had like maybe 4 years, 8 years. So like they could have done something. And also too is like they can say it but actually not act on it. So like I see that part. So that's why I want to be president, because I feel like I can represent and contribute more. And it also, yes, it would require like me being at the chapter meeting, planning. Yes, I get that part. So I feel like I could contribute and bring a lot more and be the voice and help represent, because I have these background and just the young mind, I guess. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Over.
Excuse me, good morning. Thank you for your interest, Lorraine. And the two men, So I just want to say, first of all, been in the politics for a long time. Not only politics, community involvement. So my idea is, I'll go ahead and put it on the table. I think about focus. Chair President Stephenson, Otto Lorraine, Vice President Stephenson, Otto Khan is Secretary. Then she and Clyde can be members. That's what I think, but it's up to you. Like I said, I think we can work together. And then I know bylaws and chapter laws can be amended. So chapter meeting we just done, but a lot of our meetings have been online and then call-in, and also that's why we have a vice president too, to represent. Okay, the reason why is, yes, I have the background as well in education. I have a bachelor's in education, I have a master's in education. Computers and things like that. That's a little bit of the education part. All the way to Sand Spring, Rincon Marcus, WhiteHorse, and then so we just have to do the best we can in our job. My focus is getting it off the ground, getting it, do the timeline. We really need to focus on this club. I know there were clubs before, but I helped put together Rincon Marcus back in the 90s. I have a good insight of what club is. And I know the legislative process too, because when I was a delegate, at that time we did different chapters approving their clubs, and then also certification of for the chapter, the 5 management system. So I'm pretty well aware of it. My 3 minutes is up. So I appreciate your vote this morning.
Did anybody else want to order?
I think I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah. Thank you.
So, yeah, your concerns from the 3 other nominees, and again, you have in your input stated very well what you stand for, what it's all about, So, like, you've been in the committee, you, and she's the only one that's, getting involved. So, so they saw, there's 2 other positions too. Don't quack it even yet, even though, I don't like it as keenly, because you guys have wanted to get involved as much as you can with the community, to everybody to the community, not for ourselves. We try to get the community, what all the needs are there that, we want to try to help. For the grassroots of the whole Navajo Nation. A lot of responsibility and then what we do with the people, do for them, whatever resolution that they to the chapter, and again, chapter cannot override us. CLUPC, not somebody putting themselves way up there here, or somebody getting down way down here. That's all I'm asking for. We're going to do a lot, and there's a lot on our right now. Past a few years because of COVID, even Craggy with 8 on this. Okay, Consola. So.
Did you just write your name?
Write my name. That's it. It was kind of hard.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, here we go. First vote for president. Right here, Connie. One for Connie. And one for her. And then one for Lolita.
Lucita.
Lucy?
The rain god.
I'm used to the rain.
Yeah.
Okay, Lucita Nana, there's two for Lucita. Okay, one for Vern. This one for Connie, because there's a tie between Lucita and Connie. So on that one, we have to get a vote back in there. Vote not for Lucita and Connie.
For president.
For president, so tie. It's a tie right there. And right there. One for Lucita. One for Connie. One for Connie. And one for Lucita. One left, so it's 2-2. And one for Lucita. So Lucita, you are the president.
Congratulations. Okay, thank you.
For right now, I open nomination for VP, Vice President Wallace. It's open, nomination's open.
Chair, nominate the room.
The board, okay. Any more nomination?
Cease the nomination.
If there's no more nominations, I'm gonna close the nomination for Vice President. And on that one, it's majority. So I won Okay, we'll be a nomination open for secretary.
I nominate Connie.
I don't want to be secretary.
You decline?
Yes, I don't want to be secretary.
Mr. Comment. I'm unemployed already, so I don't have access to computer quite yet. I can make the meetings and I get taxes and that and all that. Nothing to do with paperwork with, so. I'll just let you guys know. Unless I do a pencil.
Three extra. If you want to nominate yourself or someone else, we're there to help you. We're not just going to put you right there on there, do that, whatever.
I have a question. Since Chief made a good statement saying that he has no access, what if Connie becomes vice president and I be the secretary? Would you consider that?
I don't know. I mean, initially it was president, and
Yeah.
but yeah,
You guys
That
were
was-
working together. She can't make it to something, then you're in there.
yeah,
And then I can understand she not
Yeah.
having the ability to electronic, and this is going to be very,
Be a lot of paperwork.
yeah, a lot of back and forth setting up. I can do that as a secretary, like we need to do Zooming. So
I kind of don't want to.
be vice president.
Well, let's,
We can buy you a
we can
computer.
make us another recommendation. I could go in the vice president and go in the secretary. It'll work out.
What do you think, Connie?
Yeah, I mean that's what he.
Say I'm already on there. I can't be on there on the two, because it's going to be a conflict of interest for me. So
So what you're saying is you can be a vice president and Vern can be a secretary?
Oh,
so there's no other nomination or
and
nothing.
access to the computer. I did have a laptop, but I should have my laptop stolen.
That, if we get this nomination all set in, and then if you still want to be a secretary, one way or the other, we'll get you a laptop too. Totally sure that? Chapter with that,
We have a lot of, that's what I have on the list, laptop. We have a lot of budget.
I can just be a member, that's it.
I can type me, but I just need access to that.
You sure, Connie, you don't want to do it?
No.
I was hoping to see WhiteHorse, Sand Spring, and Rincon. That would
Yeah.
be a good balance.
Yeah, no.
You don't have to do a whole lot, you just fill in and.
Yeah, but my initial goal was president, but yeah.
I don't know.
I'm still thinking about it, like,
Like I say, Chief, we can get you a laptop. You can start out with handwritten reports. There's ways to do it, because right now, the chapter has all the money, because every electric is into new fiscal year. There's some areas where based on announcement about that. Like you can get one from that sugar SS tax. So then out of the sugar replacement, out of the Shikan Kahadi dozo. Even if we get one from pawn shop, we're okay. Anyway, you heard that? There's no other way, because Connie, she's not want to be the vice president or the secretary. That's so it's just between you You too.
I'll keep the VP position, she can be the secretary.
Amy, so I need condemn, so we can't nature, we're not just going to put him in the hole, you know, dump everything on him. Because we have to help each other. That's the only way this whole system is going to work. That's kind of nature. Yeah.
I can type you can do your minutes, I can type it for you.
And I can proofread it. I can do that.
Jay, I'll sign it for you.
Connie, I will do it.
I do that,
I'll
yeah.
sign it for you.
You know, I always type your letters for you.
I'll be willing to.
So, President, Vice President, and Secretary, and her a member,
Member.
and me a member. Everybody approved that. Yeah, some hand raise. If it's approved, okay. 5 approved only. So that being said, so it's all yours, Madam President. Corona hard gate. One more thing. I don't want, like I said, I don't want anybody here, somebody down here. We try to even everything up. So that's the only way we're going to make it work. So, like I said, we're not doing this for ourselves, we're doing it for the community. To get a lot of stuff done. And again, this position, what we had it achieved before, we had it for 1 year, right? And then we changed again. Or I think that is in the policy. I think it's in there.
Oh, you mean the plan of operation?
Plan of operation, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it states in there that we, that 1 year.
I didn't see 1 year in there.
You didn't see it?
No.
But that was, I guess we didn't put that thing in there at that time. Because 1 year is that thing in there.
It can always be amended.
Okay.
That can be amended too, you know. Can go 2 years. 3 years, because like we didn't hear what's on it 1 year. But the thing is, the chapter at that time. So we stayed in that position for 2 years.
2 papers, and 2 papers, so it's in the minutes.
The secretary needs paper.
That's, oh yeah. We can record it from Junior.
I have it recording through the whole time.
Okay, good.
Oh, put it in a file.
And then like I said, it's always just that you know, keep everybody informed on everything. Chapter official, because one person was told or given paperwork, everything, they don't share it. I call, we need to share everything. So this, keep everybody involved. And again, that he us, keep us still, you know. This. Arena, Naharegi, Chicago, I didn't get any other.
No, you never does.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'll do the best I can. Cut it short though. I'll be the voice for the people. For our people, our community. And T. Beneficiary will start the meeting, so let me start all the way from the top. She's our first WhiteHorse Lake chapter community land use planning committee meeting today, October 30th, 2022, and we started at 10:03 at the start date, yeah, okay? So roll call, introduction of gas aid and roll call, everybody was here.
We have a guest.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. We have a guest, it's your sister.
My sister, yeah. Or trivia?
Trivia. Okay, trivia. Okay. Thank you for joining us today. Honoring the invocation was done by Chief Kehat. Review and approval of the agenda, that's where we're at. Approval of the last meeting minutes, 8th, and we have none. And it's subject, we went through orientation, but it's a different one. Honor Panay says reports, unfinished business, new business, A, selection of officers, has done, review and amend the plan of operation, C, brainstorm mission and vision statement, D, community assessment inventory and assessment of pertinent existing data. Auto E, budget, says 27,567.62 local governance fund, LGA. Honoring the Cuban says meeting stipends. And then 3, training for local governance act. Auto 4 and A, operational supplies. Auto F, it says resolution, request WhiteHorse Lake chapter to certify the CLUPC officers. 2 is request WhiteHorse Lake chapter to increase stipends of $120 per meeting. 3, request WhiteHorse Lake chapter for a CLUPC planner to compile data. Item from the AAEI's plan for the next meeting. We have to decide on that one too. Item announcement, WhiteHorse Lake chapter planning meeting, November. I think I filled in the dates on the other agenda. And then WhiteHorse Lake chapter meeting, November. WhiteHorse Lake Veterans Meeting, November 9, 2022 at 10 a.m. And then we'll come to adjourn. But agenda, so we'll build that agenda. Do I hear a motion to accept the agenda?
I'll make the motion to accept the agenda. One item out of the 600A.
Motion?
Checker house usage. Sorry.
Okay, Chi, motion.
Second.
Laverne, second. Okay, now, do we have any questions on the agenda? Any add-ons, deletions, or? Chief?
Out of 600, the checker house usage. Checker house, I can tell you I don't know.
I think it's under resolution, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Is it under resolution? Can you double check?
it's just to increase stipend, they have a kaya.
I have a copy. Agenda, I don't have copies. I'm trying to pull up one.
Yeah, we don't have copies.
Okay.
You don't have copies of the agenda?
Secretary.
Okay.
Email, send it out there.
Ron Sullivan.
He told me because he was running the meeting in fashion offices.
Chief Ron Sullivan.
No, sit on just remember and say it already.
Okay. You can have this one. Okay, item, facility usage.
Okay, so that be number 4 resolution requesting chapter house usage for club meetings.
Okay, that's added on to the resolution under D, number 4, the list on that. I'll show you.
And then also too, other, like, that whole checklist, when are we gonna discuss that one too?
Timeline?
No, the entire thing, this whole entire checklist. Because are we gonna approach it like, where we assign our own task, meaning which ones are we gonna tackle? Like one can do community assessment. I did one in Excel where I did the entire checklist, and then we just assign ourselves what we want to do, what we want to tackle, what we're, I guess, interested in most, and then we could do it that way.
Well, just a checklist on there.
All right, yeah, we can go over.
Because that's the important one, is the entire checklist.
Not resolution though. Put it under, new business. Probably, G. Just adding on. G.
A, B, C, D, E.
E, a budget. Oh, we have a different one.
Starting on the wrong foot already.
And then I also created a budget sheet, like what, since he
We
needs,
have the same one.
So where are we? You have A, B, C, D. E is,
A will be the checklist.
no, E, resolutions, 5 o'clock. Online.
oh,
A, B, C, D, resolutions.
Show ya, that G.
So G, put checklists, and whatever's being added on under G.
and then also I created a budget sheet, a blank one for next month,
Letter C?
the budget.
Yeah.
Sure.
That, under the budget, it was for what?
It's for this remaining year, November and December's.
So that'd be 5 under budget.
That for the end of the month. Yeah.
Here we have the governance act, the governance fund, stipend, training, operations.
For training, what exactly kind of training are you talking about?
We'll put it in order.
Yeah. Oh, I was just, go ahead.
When we're talking about trainings, and then we'll plan for it and prioritize it.
Okay, well, I was just asking because since we're all here together, we can kind of like discuss that and what exactly kind of training do we need? Like after going through the orientation, you know? So a lot of it is like what ArcGIS, getting familiar with the handbook as well.
And then we'll put it all in there. We'll all talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's stick with the agenda. We'll go down there until we get to like budget, and then whatever it is, then we will
Yeah,
get into
okay.
it. Yeah, right now, if we just do like that, those things. So stay with the agenda. And
Okay,
then once
so-
we hit something that pertains to that, and then we'll discuss it.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, so we just add on, the request, the chapter for the facility usage, so we add on to discuss the checklist. Okay? So at this time, we'll go into voting.
Well, to accept the agenda.
Yeah.
Four, five.
No, she abstains, either,
Case of a tie.
until there's a tie window.
4-0-1.
So who motioned to accept the agenda? G? Okay. And then second was? Okay, so. Okay, there's 4-0 to accept the agenda. Okay, so let's move on to the next item on the agenda is approval of the last meeting minutes, 8/10. And then we come to reports.
Should you tell you, because like I was saying, there's a lot of stuff that I went through training. And one thing they always ask, where is your CLUPC? And I said, I keep that's not my excuse. So on those things that one of you, if there's a training that I'm going to, one of you can go with me, you'll be really good. That way, land because we did that a lot. Right of ways, that pertains to us. Anything that has to do with land, it pertains to us. So, I'll give you guys all a call or write you saying that who's willing to go on that day. I don't know. We have to look into that. See if we can claim mileage on it. At the store, we have to discuss that with the CSE and then chapter official. Hopefully they prove that right now you had to go on your own. Cindy, with that meetings and they'll say there's on your mileage. But my mileage a month is only $200, and that's nothing. I can use that in about 2 or 3 days. For that, but claim here as a landlord. But if you guys want to go, we need to sit down with the CSE, see if we can claim mileage on there, like overnight or the TA thing. You had to, we had to apply for it, and so there's a lot of stuff we need to catch up on it, and then, like I said, we had to put in a special meeting, like next month, after our regular meeting, and special meeting, we can, discuss what I have pertaining to the land and whatnot. So on the workshop or so that way, I want you guys to, be on the same page with you guys from my point of view. What the husband, that way, and again, some of you guys are working full time. In the, like DC, we could try to set up at least about 3 weeks to a month ahead, or maybe more. But last minute meeting, if you're working full time, and sometimes, you had to have a few days ahead to notify your employer. So, and again, like I said, we need to sit down, like, land use. There's about 12, 13 different areas. We'll be working with state land, doing the tribal trust land, BLM, public domain, doing the B land, that's the name of you. And at this moment, passed the legislation. I don't have a copy with me right now. One-stop shop. The consent for the land is with the rest, like permits whoever the company they selected, they do all that, like permits that like EPA, Fish and Wildlife, they are authorized to do that themselves. They put it underneath one category. Like for the EPA, they get 10 days grace period to cover everything. Up to Mike Colonna Land Department. Hey, so sign up each back to BIE, and they're done. That's how they set up, because this money that came out, 1.5 billion. That upper money, they put out no, but that face, this time around, they don't want to do that. They want to use all of it. So, this deadline, December 30th, 2024. Everything has to be in order. 24 to 26 year, 2026. What needs to be done has to be done. Money is to use those infrastructure what needs to be done. Total within that time. A call.
Thank you.
Even the reason why is consent. They didn't allow me that consent power line, water line, road that there's a lot of consentees. They're going to override it, no matter what. They can put the water line behind it. There are some homes that have been existing for over 5 years, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So consent that homes like this one, they're going to override everything. So they're going to run the whatever utility they need to run it through there. They put out the little Kayanaka. So, Machia don't hold me that I'm the lake. They shattered. I call Cracky. Machimidi, that's shade of that in. Let's say, let's go work it out first. I thought it'd be a lot of things. Go ahead.
Go ahead. When you say who's doing this?
Actually, it's Navajo Nation. I said, no. That's actually and the community. Because we are elected officials. There's no Councilman, you guys are voted in too. Even case. Just because you're already up here, don't mean you can leave these guys behind. They need to have their voice heard. On the public meeting, instead of just overriding them and then go do your stuff. But there's a lot of new laws. They need to know. But there's no evidence to with RDC meeting so it's already in effect. Like one shop stop is in effect now. hotel for that home site leases. It's very nice out there. So it's residential and just a regular home site lease. Residential is for inland development. Got home site lease member coordination. So residential, a lot many it has to do with a regular land, a trust land, no cover. So that's under now coordination. Called a so in could you coordinate on cost a lot of shape of this one. So every number that I see I think
Okay.
So to make it short, and then like I said, she informed me what I go through what I husband.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ty, for sharing the information with us. I need the land status is very important. I know that one-stop shop really that's under Jonathan Lenz and tradition, yeah.
Jonathan Mike Corona.
Yeah. Jonathan Lenz, question that we learned. They were at, this one guy that wouldn't sign the consent, for that water line. They're just going to overwrite that, and then they're going to go ahead with the water line. Okay. Let's go into the unfinished business. Okay, y'all hit them. We don't have unfinished business, so Kari, y'all have new business. We did letter A, selection of officers. So let's go into letter B, plan of operation. Plan of operation, so I guess we just read some page, couple of pages. Have you jotted down any of these changes that we make in this plan of operation?
Yeah, there's some spelling that needs to be corrected in there. And then also two meetings. If you still want it to be the first of Tuesday of each month at 9 a.m.
Let me see if I may check your meeting.
Madam President,
Go ahead.
can we just go down the line?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. From goal all the way down.
The heading, it looks okay except for fiscal year 2020. That should be changed to 2022.
If we can, yeah, on that one. We need to do our own letterhead.
Oh, that's what I was going to recommend, because I just went ahead
Gotta
and
have
used
that,
the chapter's letterhead. Shall we name our street papers?
8 candle usually, then we're gonna have our own letterhead. But it's more,
Professional.
effective.
So that first correction is 2022 in the heading.
Yep.
Just go.
Okay. Now go with the name. The name of the community shall be WhiteHorse Lake Community Land Use Planning Committee. Leave it as is.
So
Yes.
when we say WhiteHorse Lake Community, that includes Sand Springs and Rincon?
So we
WhiteHorse Community, Recon and Sand Spring.
So under WhiteHorse Lake Chapter Community, it should have been chapter.
No, just leave it as that.
So that includes Rincon Marcus, the satellite communities are Rincon Marcus and Sand Spring. Okay. Yeah, I can tell ya. Leave it as is? Okay, let's go into goal. Authority has been granted to the WhiteHorse Lake Community Land Use Planning Committee, CLUPC, by WhiteHorse Lake chapter members to create a comprehensive an effective plan to improve our environmental, social, and economic conditions. The goal of WhiteHorse Lake Chapter land use is to evaluate the community's public and private land use, as well as environmental, economic, cultural assets to develop short and long-range development strategies that will provide a framework for community growth, guide, and direction the citizens' aspiration for a better community.
So where it says WhiteHorse Lake Chapter members, it should be membership. So strike members and insert membership. Second line.
Oh, WhiteHorse Lake Chapter membership. Okay.
And then did you say direction, or should it say direct, guide and direct citizens aspiration?
Guide and direct the citizens' aspiration for better community. Guide and direct.
Yeah, it should be direct, not direction. Looks okay.
Okay.
On that's the last one here. The development of strategies that will provide a framework for community growth and, I think that's better put an "and" in there, guide and direct the citizens. Well, you can leave it the way it is.
We just need a comma after guide. We're naming growth, we're naming guidance, and direct.
The citizens' aspiration for a better community.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Their dreams and everything. So, the objective of the CLUPC is to set aside reserved open land areas for development while taking into consideration environmental conservation, resources management, and preservation for our heritage. CLUPC will seek opportunity for housing, economic development, education, recreation, and culture activities. The committee will work simultaneously with the chapter in development of the fire management system certification and assist the chapter with its obligations and responsibilities as established in Chapter 2, Section 2034 AB of Title 26, Exhibit 8. So you know, the ones that are just abbreviated.
Where can I find that fire management system at? Like,
It can be,
because I keep hearing that word. Where exactly is it at? Is it in the Title 26?
Yeah, because
It's a very I have a copy of it. I was just wondering because it doesn't. I haven't really looked at it, so okay. All right, just wondering if it was in there.
should spell
Okay.
CLUPC.
Madam Chair.
The committee, land use planning,
Fire management, do a little workshop from one lady directly just for that.
Yeah.
Nothing else. It us in a meeting and get the office.
Yeah, we'll put it in our trainings now.
Training, yeah, because that way we know every aspect of the fire management.
Yeah, and then they have the professional fee involved too for training staff. So we can incorporate those two together. Okay.
Under objective, line 4 down, where it says the committee, we can insert CLUPC.
Committee.
Strike out committee, just put CLUPC.
legal, yeah. Okay, so we're going to authority. The WhiteHorse Lake CLUPC was established by the majority vote of the chapter membership February 1920. That needs to change, huh?
Yeah, so strike that out, and then we can't insert anything until,
After the chapter meeting.
yeah, after the chapter meeting.
In accordance with the Nomination Council, Title 26, Local Governance Act of 1998, Section 2004C, 3A. The citizens of WhiteHorse Lake who recognize the importance of community self-determination and economic development have authorized the committee, CLUPC, to meet the goals and objectives as stated above, which were verbalized by the people. And strike this one out again.
Back on transfer date.
Okay, so where it says the citizens of WhiteHorse Lake, put insert community. That covers, going back to the first paragraph. So it's not just WhiteHorse Lake, so we have WhiteHorse Lake communities with IES communities. I think. Acho que
Yeah. Yeah.
Three communities.
And then we can insert the new dates when it's approved. Okay, network. In meeting the requirements of our goals and objectives, the committee will pursue all resources available to implement the land use planning. The committee will work in cooperation with the various Navajo division and branches, and in conjunction with the federal, state, local governments, or any other public, private experts and entities that will be instrumental in planning the process.
So again, I would put CLUPC, strike out the committees, the committee, and put CLUPC in there. Those two areas.
We can make in the meeting requirements of goals and objectives. The CLUPC will pursue all resources available to implement the land use planning. The CLUPC will work in cooperation with various Navajo branches.
So far, you agree with everything? If you don't agree with something, raise your hand.
Okay, so we're going to meetings. The CLUPC shall meet on blank of each month at blank. And CLUPC shall meet at agreed time and places and are directed to be available for meeting. The CLUPC shall meet on,
Can we change the time to 10 instead?
10 is good.
Yeah, because you have to travel. Somebody has to travel.
the chapter, the planning meeting is usually what, the first Wednesday?
What we did
Or the
is
second Wednesday?
the second planning meeting. What we did, I thought we did. The first Tuesday of every month. The reason why is we need to have the meeting before the planning meeting. So whatever is set right here, we can get it to planning meeting that same month instead of waiting another month. It's called even first Tuesday of every month daily on day. So whatever we pass on or resolution, what will go to planning meeting, to chapter meeting the same month. Even not all day, but and again, it is up to you guys. Khan and Shin Khalabiga, like I say, we need to work together on it and, just.
Go ahead.
I want to make a suggestion. The Club C meetings, I would like to have it on Sundays, if it's okay, because we're gonna have.
I don't want to do it on a Sunday. I'd rather do it on a weekday, Monday through Friday.
Because other meetings and training will be during the weekday. So to really balance it, or either on a Saturday or.
I don't want to do it on weekends because I work Monday through Friday.
Just a meeting, I would like to request on a weekend on Sunday, but other trainings and other stuff, most likely will be on weekdays.
Okay, we can vote on it. Get the ballot ready, right? Okay?
One short comment. It's just one meeting a month.
Yep, it's just one meeting.
Just one.
One main per meeting. Yep.
Just one meeting.
Are we just saying one club meeting? What about
Yep.
other meetings?
That's on voluntary.
Be voluntary.
Yep.
But
So
then
you
we
only
can-
get paid just the 1 month, 1 day. That's it. All other days is all voluntary.
Where we would have to put it in our budget.
Their budget models,
Oh,
like
we have a lot of money in the budget, we can do it that way. Because the first part of this thing, we're just not starting up. We're gonna be very busy. See, we need the LGA training, we'll be having some workshop, 2 or 3 workshops. The first part of this, we're just not starting, so we're gonna need those trainings and those workshops. We're gonna fit it into our budget and, present it to the chapter for approval. But we'll vote on the date, on the day of the week when we're gonna be meeting, and then the time, we'll vote on it.
Madam Chair, another thing is the reason why we had on weekdays is because the travel office article, so we need to come across and then get something from them. They're at the office already. It is on weekdays today. We tried it on weekends, and again, people are busy. That's the only reason why all the other offices are open even on weekdays today. So we can get more information out right quick that we need to know or put it on our agenda. It is enough. Tuesday. It I prefer to stay with weekdays, but that's one suggestion. We can get a lot more done that way. Since we know what that is about, what we're going to vote on it, I'll say that's all my suggestion.
Okay, we'll vote on that meeting, date and time, when we're done with the reading through that whole thing. Okay, so let's keep going. It says special trips are necessary. Okay, right here, training. Meetings, And then it says, on the second page, it says special trips are necessary to carry out assignment, consult with sources, and to maintain communication with all contacts in order to design and lay the foundation for an economic development program. CLUPC must have a budget to produce results, educate the community, and market future services. We have the budget. It says special trips are necessary to carry out assignments, consult with sources, and to maintain communication with all contacts in order to design and lay the foundation for economic development program. CLUPC must have a budget to produce results, educate the community, and market future services.
It looks like there's a sentence missing. Yeah, because right there's a period. On the next page, it just says special trips. Does that S need to be capitalized?
Yeah.
I'm missing that page. Mine goes up to location.
It says special, yeah, that should be capitalized if it starts.
I'm missing that page.
Yeah, actually, if you look at the very bottom, it's numbered. It's very light.
2.
2
Yeah,
is
1, 2.
on, I think the number page is not correct. I'm not sure.
You know what, my page says.
Oh, the letter for the cop,
Oh,
the special training and special trips.
training and special trips.
Oh, really? I don't have that. Oh, okay. See, I don't have that part.
So,
So, second page in mine starts with location, form, sign and
So
sheet.
this would be 1.
this one here, second, page number 30, says training and special trips.
Okay.
The local government encourages training and networking to gain knowledge and certain the scope of the CLUPC, tasks, techniques and procedures, possible precedents, and results expected. Training and
Okay, so the number 3 page should be 2 and the 4 page should be 3.
Yeah, number that ward.
That part is missing.
Okay, check back, the top one you can call. The top numbers here. So this is,
I'm lost.
And 1 at the bottom and then 3 at the very bottom is 2 and 4 is 3.
Coming from
Let me see your
back
second
to back.
page.
this is the
Yeah, you're
ward.
missing that too. There should be one that says training and special trips right there. They want that, but she has it.
Okay,
And
yours has that?
5 and 6, what's 8?
There's 6 pages, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have 6 pages.
there's 4.
Okay, second page would have been what?
Location and quorum.
Location.
Today agenda.
Yes,
Third
For today, yeah,
is
special
work
trip.
assignments.
work assignments.
Special trip.
And then 5th should be chapter
Yeah, work
president.
assignment. And then 5A, it says check the president, vice president, student. Out of conclusion, A6.
Go to location.
Got everything straight?
2, yeah, I'm
Put it
gonna
back
fix
together.
it. 3, 4.
Okay,
5,
so
6,
let's
yeah.
go back to location.
Got it.
Location of meeting, public participation meetings shall be held at WhiteHorse Lake Chapter. Remember, this is because we are open meetings. You know, if people want to listen in, they can attend the meeting.
Oh, this is a public meeting.
Actually, an official meeting, public participation is actually required.
All CLUPC meetings.
Yeah.
Public participation meetings shall be held WhiteHorse Lake Chapter and or a designated location.
Okay, in there, we should put, executive meeting in there. Some we might have to,
Huh?
executive meeting, because, see, so somewhere, we had to have a
Innovation
meeting
or-
just upon the committee members,
Guests or
CLUPC committee.
public.
minute,
Oh,
it'll cut, doesn't say executive meeting.
Yes, and can I see this real quick? So roll call, introduction of class.
I guess
Okay,
you're
then that's what I know.
zero,
Yeah.
two,
So
zero.
I'm not
Is this
sure
okay then?
exactly
Okay.
where they're at. So it looks like these.
type of meetings, yeah.
Right here, review the minutes.
Okay,
where we're
quorum.
at.
So how long?
Or Miguel guy, the CLUPC consists of
And then announcements.
four kaya.
And if they say anything
Others
else,
says five
that's
members.
when you can.
Rochester, four,
Oh, it should be-
5 members, it should have been.
Strike out the word S-O-U-R.
Put five. Usually we have five, other than they have changed it.
Yeah, 5.
So 5 members.
The club consists of 5 members.
This is only our first
3
one.
officers and 2.
Yeah, so it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Okay,
okay,
so you would like
it's
to
just
be
a
added on the
word.
next.
Just strike out
On the next one?
S-O-U-R.
Okay.
5.
Okay. Item 3 officers and 1 member at large. You're 1 member at large, huh? Two members at large.
Just a member.
Okay. And a quorum shall be attended by at least 3 members of the committee before business can be transacted or a motion made or passed. At least 3 members of the committee.
Okay, so where it says the first line, it says of 4, 5 members.
We changed that one to 5.
You change that to 5. Okay.
And 3 officers and 2 members at large, a quorum shall be attended by at least 3. What they are? 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
You know what? What about, 3 is a quorum. 3 is a quorum, but, comes to voting, it'll be very low, Jeanette.
No, it's good.
It's good.
It's good.
Committees are like this. There's 5, yeah.
Sign sheets.
Bingo. Shall constitute, convening members of the committee before business can motion made or passed. Okay, no changes? Sign sheet, each meeting attending for the record shall sign in sheet. Each meeting attending for the record shall sign the sign-in sheet. Yes. Public announcement, AI, according to the planning process, the CLUPC in cooperation with the chapter community service coordinator will distribute the public service announcement to newspaper and radio station. Flyers will be posted in public places for optimum participation of community residents. Not only flyers, but probably by emails too, huh? Flyers, email, and even the
Well, flyers for most elderly people, that would also be beneficial too, for flyers, because not a whole lot of, because in the community I see more elderly people, so flyers, visual would help too.
Somewhere in there we need to put email.
So email,
Yeah. Emails, so
okay.
we'll just answer emails. I knew I get a lot of emails. Should I check your meeting agenda email, because they always ask me so. Anyways, we'll be posted in public places. Hey, I'm in chapter house today. I'm mostly here.
And then like Pentado store, does she? Flyer.
Senior center.
In the newspaper, it's usually the public section. And then the radio station, majority of them listens to KTNN.
KNDN.
KNDN2. Ano KNDN? WhiteHorse Lake
Yeah.
KTNN Regional.
KYAT. Yeah.
Okay, if I need to go to listen to radio stations,
Oh.
I go online, whatever
Oh,
you
yeah.
call it, streaming.
So you don't have to name the radio stations, just radio stations good.
No, but don't request any KNDN, the one in what, in Farmington? WhiteHorse Lake. Okay, so leave it as is? Okay, attendees, all 5 members of the CLUPC shall be in attendance each meeting to receive information and provide input. If a member is not able to attend the meeting, he or she shall notify the CLUPC secretary and/or the community service coordinator in advance. CLUPC secretary shall immediately notify the CLUPC president or vice president. All committee members shall be provided telephone and cell numbers or email address where they can be reached. WhiteHorse Lake Chapter President, Chapter Vice President, Chapter Secretary and Treasurer, Community Service Coordinator, Council Delegate, and Landlord Representative is required to present and share information and update, assist in evaluating and assessing information, and participate in the planning discussion. Other resources, technical experts, and other local resources and other knowledgeable guests may attend the CLUPC meetings by invitation or by request to share information, provide insights into the various areas of their expertise and skills, or to present their organizational objectives and developments relating to land use matters. They may be called upon to provide technical assistance and facilitate CLUPC on workable technologies, strategies, and models for land use planning. 4, to ensure board community participation. To ensure broad community participation. WhiteHorse Lake Chapter community residents shall be in support of the vision, goals, and initiatives for the community and CLUPC for successful planning and for the purpose of making a positive difference. Attendees, again, we need to be informed. And
So
then-
number 1, strike 4 again and insert 5.
And then for line number 4, where it says all committee members, so which should we put Club C? So,
All community. Insert CLUPC members shall have right telephone numbers, email address.
President,
Go ahead, Chief.
just a comment. On number 4, can we delete broad community participation in planning? It's repeating on it.
Oh, yeah.
Just put to ensure community participation. You're going to say the broad. To ensure community participation.
All CLUPC members get a 918. All CLUPC.
So 4 did Kai's vote, where it says goals and initiative for all community. So where it says for all community.
What about for the communities?
Just strike that one out.
Yeah, is strike and they put all. Yeah, put communities because we're saying all.
Yeah, all communities.
Move on. Any other questions? Community participation. According to LGA Community Participation Plan, the intent of the plan is to reassure the membership that their input is essential to defining the parameters for economic growth. In response to this, CLUPC will make a report at the regular chapter meeting. Yeah, we need to do that participation plan, huh? Agenda, following discussion and coordination of an agenda by all CLUPC members, the president and the vice president in cooperation with the community service coordinator will finalize the agenda for each monthly meetings and for public hearings. The agenda shall include meeting call to order, opening prayers, recognition of staff and presenters, reading of the minutes unless changed, approval of last month's meeting minutes, update reports or presentation, new business, old business, announcement, adjournment. Opening prayers for invocation.
Are you guys all doing it? Yes. Do you need coffee, water, anything?
Yeah, coffee. Can I have my decaf? Decaf? And I want to order lunch. Okay. Water. I'm going to order the enchilada.
Do you want red or green chili?
You want something? Do you hungry? No.
That will be later.
And then what you put in here?
I just listen to you. Yeah, I think they have that.
Do you use shredded chili? No, just don't use the
Oh, no, we don't have to get anything.
If they
Oh,
have
no.
I'm sure they will.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Are you sure that's okay? Okay.
Give me a few minutes and I'll have the drinks.
Okay.
I have a question. On the agenda, where it says the president and the vice president in cooperation with the community service coordinator will finalize the agenda for each monthly meeting. What does that mean with the community service coordinator? How does he help finalize?
Because he has to be partake in, because everything we do here, we have to communicate with CSC. So,
It's for communication purposes. It's
Yeah.
not like for him to take over and,
it's still communication though. It's not for him to take over, but it's still communicating with him.
yeah, I just wanted clarity. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, because the word corporation is in there with the CSC.
He's cooperating with us. I hope he cooperates with us.
I mean, communication and talking to each other correctly.
In
It says
cooperation.
will finalize the agenda.
Yeah, regardless, we still have to communicate with
I
CSC.
know, I'm not saying delete him. I'm just saying that I have a question for clarity. Finalize the agenda.
But we're going to be a committee, and we have to do our agenda.
Yeah.
Unless he gives us topic to include in the agenda.
Okay, well, if that's okay, where's...
This right there, yeah, Manatini, President, Vice President in cooperation with the Community Service Coordinator. That one, we put it in there because we were working real close with Angela. Hey, Tom, Indy? Korea, it's a different CSE, whatever. Hey, you super some datiness. And then what she did a lot of workshops
A lot of
with us. Even though I thought that's it's only. But this one is states different, so I don't know if you're gonna delete that or leave it in there.
Yeah, actually later on, if you read more, it actually does say including CSC too again.
I don't know. He needs to cooperate with us because he's blocking a lot of stuff. Remember during the orientation, Well,
Well, he's going by rules and
With
regulation.
him like this, we're a committee and we need to run our own agenda.
Well, then we should reword,
No.
because it says the president, vice president in cooperation with the community service coordinator. That means, looking up to him, so maybe rewording it.
I still think we should still keep CSC in there because
Yeah,
I'm still
keep it in there,
communicating.
keep it in there, but rewording it.
Making, probably put agreement somewhere in there to finalize instead of will.
We could say this, the community service coordinator will cooperate with the president, the CLUPC president, vice president. Just flipping the words, yeah, just flipping them. Because the way it's written, it says that the committee will, this community service coordinator will finalize, and then we just have to cooperate with him. That's the way I understand it.
Or instead of where will is, you could put to.
Comment, I agree with what Vern's trying to say, but I think things to be reworded. We need to take out will finalize or work in cooperation.
We can say, instead of saying within, we could say with the president, vice president, with the cooperation of the community service coordinator, finalizes the agenda, instead of using the word will.
Yeah, that's how we.
So that's what happens if he's not here.
Otherwise, you're giving him a lot of authority when it comes to.
So he's not here to,
I mean, he still has to be involved regardless.
Yeah, I'm not saying striking, he is involved.
But we're not going to give him the full authority because like he is, he's blocking us in a lot of ways.
So the wording, they are.
yeah, change the word.
Incorporating cooperation. Cooperation.
We could, I don't know what you think, but we could say the president, vice president, with the cooperation of the community service coordinator, finalizes the agenda. Instead of saying will. Or if you want to say finalize it, that's fine too.
To finalize the agenda for each monthly meeting and for the public hearing.
Read now,
Oh, this is what I have. Following discussions with an S, put S there on this discussions. Following discussions and formulation of an agenda by all club members. We should say including, or I guess that's all right, the president, vice president, Club C president, and the vice president, with the cooperation of the community service coordinator. Will finalize the agenda for each monthly meeting and for the public hearings.
This finalize agenda. Hey, I'm sick of that. We're the community. We finalize it.
So let's strike him out. I think that kind of simplifies.
But we'll work with the CSC. No matter what, we have to work with them.
That's why it's important to have him in there.
Cooperation, with cooperation and consult. We'll just tell them that this is our agenda. We'll just send them the agenda.
And then you could say that a copy of the agenda will be shared with the community service coordinator.
Let's talk about that. Talk about the
Yeah. So strike, the president and vice president will finalize the agenda for the monthly meetings and for the public hearings, period. The agenda will be shared with the community service coordinator.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah, and then the agenda shall include that, I think that one's okay.
That's good. So we go down to minutes.
Yes.
The CLUPC secretary will read the minutes of each CLUPC meeting unless otherwise instructed and will be accepted for official CLUPC record.
No communication.
Well, we read it at the meeting all the time. You know, a lot of times we email the minutes to the members. They read it and they have questions.
Comment. It's a councilman, let's say, the president said it's been mailed to you, email, I think. So I just think a motion is second to one, unless there's comments or changes. So that way they don't read them. But you guys are giving copies of them. So that saves a lot of time.
So the secretary will email the minutes of the meeting to each CLUPC meeting.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Like you said, if you want to send it in the email and we read it before the meeting, and that's where it says, and otherwise instructed should take care of that. So I think we're okay with that.
Read and email. Read our email. Okay, compensation time, beginning October 19, they strike it out.
2022.
2022, we members shall be paid a stipend in the amount of 120 shekels, not minute.
But I think it was actually approved through the regular chapter meeting. It was 100, we all agreed on that, just on the last month.
So we get the resolution.
Yeah, so,
They didn't approve the stipend. They didn't approve the 120 auto approve the other. They said until after our meeting.
Yeah.
So, until after our meeting, so we recommend 120 instead of,
Comment, when the council approved the item, they said that one thing, the resolution.
so we go with the executive order.
So the council passed a resolution for the pandemic?
yeah, but then during the chapter meeting, just the last
No,
month, they
the
agreed on
council-
action.
The council, that resolution supersedes.
What was that, Connie?
Oh, I was listening to him.
So the council set the stipend in the resolution. It said 120.
Okay, just put 120, and then when it's presented to the chapter, they can discuss it. Yeah.
And we can use that document, executive order.
We can get that executive order.
I try to look for that executive order. There's a lot of them, and I wish I knew the number to that executive order. That way, it would have been easier for me to find it.
She probably knows for the group.
I haven't looked at anything. Just put 120, and then it's up for discussion.
Okay. Do that.
Okay, and then it says supported by approval resolution. The qualification of the CLUPC members shall be as specific and the comprehensive community-based land use planning in accordance to Title 26, Exhibit A. See, that executive order is part of Title 26. Okay, term limited for CLUPC members. All CLUPC members shall serve at the committee's discretion. The new committee shall be established by chapter resolution and majority vote of WhiteHorse Lake chapter committee members. Community.
Membership?
Yeah, strike out community residents, just put community membership, because they're the qualified voters. So put membership.
Okay. Resignation, termination, and absence. Resignation from the committee must be in writing and received by the CLUPC secretary. A committee shall be dropped for excess absence from the committee if he or she has 3 unexcused absence from the committee meeting in a year. A committee member may be removed if the member is non-active, does not carry out assignment given, and does not participate as part of the committee. A committee member may be removed for other reason by 3/4 vote of the remaining committee members. Let me see. Resignation from the committee must be in writing, okay, received by the CLUPC secretary. A committee member shall be dropped for excessive absence from the committee. She has 3 unexcused absence from the committee. Just, what about consecutive absence? Okay, 1, 2, 3. You're out.
Title 26 says consecutive meetings, no? 3. That's what Title 26 says. I'll just keep this.
Most of them, they're like that, 3 consecutive. Okay. I think election officers are that too. Just keep it? Okay.
So 3/4 would be like 3 members can outvote a member. Is that 3/4?
Yeah.
It has to be 4?
That's 42. If one resigns, so 42 vote. Then 3/4 of that is 3.
Okay, yeah. So, excuse me, but term limit, it's at the discretion of the committee. We should be more specific.
Shall serve at the committee's discretion.
I think our job is pretty much cut out for like 2 years.
Committee for 2 years? Yeah, the committee for 2 years?
Yeah, maybe on the resolution it'll say that. Because just working with this is going to take months, and then getting certified and updates after that. It's going to be like 2 years. Anyway, let's move on.
The budget established by the chapter with majority Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, now we go into resolution from the
Budget.
budget show. So, CLUPC will initiate and introduce a CLUPC budget by resolution and request for consideration by WhiteHorse Lake Chapter Community.
WhiteHorse Lake membership.
Membership. This request is justifiable and crucial in meeting an increasing operation and demand for CLUPC as it progresses towards its community vision, goal, and objective. Next step.
Training.
This request is justified by the crucial remaining increase in operation and demand for CLUPC as it progresses towards its community vision goal and objective.
I just think that there should be a little statement in there saying that the budget, is it from the land trust funds or LGA? LGA.
So,
We can revisit this one.
Yeah, we can reconsider.
Let's move on.
When we look at budget.
training and special trips, the local government encourages training and networking to gain knowledge and ascertain the scope of the CLUPC tasks, techniques, and procedure, possible precedent, and results expected. Training and special trips are necessary to carry out the assignment, consult with sources, and to maintain communication with all contacts in order to design and lay the foundation for an economic development program. CLUPC must have a budget to produce results, educate the community, and market future services.
Okay, is it just economic development programs? I think we have a line of things in here.
Economic, social,
We have a line of things in here. Should we look at this as we,
checklist, huh?
yeah. When we go back to the checklist, and then we should, it's not only economic development.
Housing, recreation,
Yeah.
culture.
Community infrastructure plan, community, we'll include those as we do the checklist.
Community facility plan, the thoroughfare plan, land use plan, open space, the assessment, the education participation plan, all that stuff. Public hearing, or any additional public hearing, all that stuff needs to be put in there.
And we'll revisit that now.
Okay, work assignment, it is WhiteHorse Lake Chapter Council decision to assign work on each of the members of the committee to research, study, compile, and assemble materials, make recommendations, conduct workshop if necessary, access, and provide information and feedback to the committee for consolidation and incorporation to the land use plan.
Challenge here, for you. Access.
Access.
I think it's on the third line, right?
Yeah. Access, didn't mean I didn't say access.
I feel.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Conduct workshop if necessary, compile, research, study, compile, and assemble materials, conduct workshop, work session. And do public hearings, conduct workshop, work session. And that sounds good, huh? That's good. Okay, duties, duties and responsibilities. Community Land Use Committee, the mandate under Title 26 of LGA, by approval of the chapter membership. The committee is the central planning group established for strategic land use planning process. It is a given responsibility to implement a community-based community-based land use plan. It shall designate future land use based on the guiding principle and vision as articulated by the community, along with the information revealed in inventories and assessment of the natural, cultural, human resources, and community infrastructure foundation. The CLUPC president shall convene regular scheduled committee meeting. He or she shall preside at each meeting or during his or her absence. Arrange for other members of the community to preside in the following order: Vice President and then Secretary. The Vice President shall chair committees, shall share committees on special subjects as designed by the committee. The Secretary shall be responsible for keeping records of the committee actions, including taking meetings of all committee meetings, send out meeting announcement, distribute copies of the minutes and the agenda to each committee member, also assuring that the information is available to the public. The minutes will be read at each CLUPC meeting unless otherwise restricted and will be accepted to the official CLUPC records. The members shall attend the CLUPC meeting accept and carry out assignment given by the president or vice president and will be active member of the committee. CLUPC members and assists. The CLUPC members and assists shall attend monthly meetings to share information, updates, provide assistance in assessment, and participate in the planning process as delineated, how do you say that? Delineated, and the community-based land use planning requirements. The planning assistant shall work under the supervision of the WhiteHorse Lake CLUPC, and duties and responsibilities shall include, but are not limited to, coordinating all land planning activities, including being the liaison between consultative committee and all interested parties. Develop a community education participation plan that fosters public participation through the public hearing and the media, ensuring that all information is available to the public hearings and the media, ensuring that all information is available to the public and approved by the committee. Develop and implement a community assessment that provide determination and knowledge of the goals, priorities, and vision for the community's future. A known one.
Comment, President.
Go ahead.
Where it says delineated, can we change that to as defined? I'm sure I want to know what that word means.
Google it.
As,
Delineated.
C, the secretary shall be responsible for keeping records of the committees, the committee actions, including taking meetings. It should be minutes, maybe?
Yeah,
Taking minutes, so strike meetings and insert minutes
taking minutes.
of the CLUPC meetings. CLUPC meetings, sit out.
Trustee minutes.
yeah,
And then where it says, number 1, CLUPC members / planner assistant, just add planner. I think that's what we're talking about.
yeah.
And down here it says the planning assistant, it should be planner assistant. So the third line on that strike out planning, put planner assistant. And then wherever it says assistant, put planner. That way it's very specific.
Before we go any further on this one, ma'am, on that planner, are we going to hire one? Or how are we going to do it? Well, I mean, here's how we're going to designate one of us as a planner? That's my question.
Siya meeting niya ano you can hire a planner for 10 days, 20 days, for typing data siya.
Hire me, The way I see it, siya tayo. Right here is the planner. And she has some data. Lala, but we need to go through, take a look at this.
It's on your consoles.
Yeah, that's kidding me, what the? To me, we don't need to look any further than that, because the way she put that thing on, she knows what she's talking about.
AI is not planner.
This is good. This is cute.
Yep.
We'll have to.
And another thing that she suggested is that we not go through a consultant, is because it's pretty pricey, and she did mention like how much it costs for a planner to put everything together.
Yeah, it could be like in the thousands.
And right now we only have like, what, 26,000 plus the LGA and other ones, and that can like narrow it quickly.
But check her out, she told me 10 days money, we ain't done that.
Oh,
You know what Deidre has been on that 10 days? He was getting his wages from our money, our 10 days money, all this time, until he got hired by the Navajo Nation. And right there, engine hina aslo. I always say this, right there, engine hina aslo. She just read us the heading, okay. Yan, look by this, what by this, what. That 10 days project, she made her wages his wages way up high. And if we say, okay, 10 days, he's not gonna go for it, but he did it, So I think this planner, we can hire through the 10 days. We'll be typing all those data and compile it into our manual. That's what they're talking about. It's not going to be only one data. There's going to be more data. I don't do check with it. That's a data. Go ahead, Laverne.
Let's keep the planner in there and then go through this, and as we get this approved, and then we can select a planner. I think that's what we should do. Or was that a suggestion? Keep the heading planner, or delete that and just kind of like?
everything's right, but I said like, we're gonna, a planner was
There,
there.
that's
Yeah.
what the bird said.
Leave it
Yeah,
the
and
way it
then
is,
if
yeah.
Connie's gonna be our planner, at least it's already situated there, we just assign her. You know what I mean? But right now,
I mean, here I have it like every one of us are gonna take a responsibility, and then with that, that's where I compiled all the information together. So say if you looked up some information off of the checklist, and you got all the like say if you got all this, you took on this responsibility, and you give me that information. Chi takes on the inventory assessment, and he takes on all of that information. She takes on the open space. She gets all the information that is required. That's where it all comes to me, and I put them all together. Right?
And that's what we volunteer?
Yes, that's based on what,
Already on the CLUPC committee?
So then we should keep the planner in there.
Yeah.
Just keep it in there, whoever takes the position, right? That way, based on LGA rules, we have a planner in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll assign, not a meeting, after this is approved, and then we can assign the planner.
okay.
Yeah. Continue.
What do we, now, we turn the page, the membership, agreement page, member and assistant, we're down the line.
if you notice that there's 2 number 1s on the duties and responsibility, and then there are 2, 3, and 4 bullets.
Number 1.
Like, there's 2 number 1s,
Yeah, then
Like-
use planning, then number 1 again.
and then on the next page is 2, 3, and 4.
You need to correct that,
Just take out one of the ones and then continue the numbers.
So it'd be 2.
Yeah.
One, this is the one, this is probably 2, huh? This CLUPC,
Yeah.
CLUPC member and assistant be 2. Cross off the one.
Then next one in chapters will be 3.
No,
Oh,
they read all it. Okay, 3, and then 4, and then 5. I would put it on a 5. Each is 6, and they then 40. Just numbered like that. Okay, let's go to the next page, 5. DAA inventory and assessing permit data, request data and get technical assistance from the tribe, federal, state, county assignment for inventory and ensure natural cultural payment services and infrastructure. Is that what you have on your page? Okay. Natural, assisting natural cultural payment services, infrastructure. That goes back to the checklist again. Now go to the chapter president, vice president, chapter secretary. WhiteHorse Lake chapter president, vice president, and secretary treasurer shall be in attendance as local experts and leaders at each monthly planning meeting to share information. It shall be the duty of the chapter official to stay abreast of CLUPC activities, maintain open communication and continuous contact with the CLUPC, keep the committee appraised of current committee efforts as well as past and future activities related to land use planning. They shall provide insight, expertise, and advice on issues relating to local law, government policies, and censorship, isn't there? Censoring. They shall be available to provide chapter statistic plan priorities, resources, and management, including any barriers to CLUPC planning. They shall advise and assist the community in developing coordinating land use objectives, such as delineating areas most suitable for development and those that must remain untouched, and so forth. They shall assist the committee in reviews, interpretation, and analysis of document to ensure accuracy and timely completion of the comprehensive plan.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Kyle.
On this number 4 chapter president official, chapter official, it is going to be pretty hard for them to attend. They always have excuses. The only way they're going to attend is if there's a dollar sign, word them in there. Other than that, they always have excuses. This is what happened when I was on the CLUPC. So we can plan with you guys. They never showed up. That's the only thing. This is good right there. But if we can give this one to them, you know, assure that one of them can make it. So there's 3 of them.
I think we should strike it all out and then rework, just make it like a 2-liner. Because the word shall, you can't make them, you know what I mean? Like Clyde is saying, we can't make them. First of all, they're not going to attend the meeting. And it says they shall provide insight, expertise, blah, blah, blah. They shall advise and assist the committee. That shall, I would strike out. But we could have them,
Go ahead. On such cases, I would strike out the whole thing. But maybe reword it as keep the committee keep the chapter officials apprised of current committee efforts as well as future activities related to that.
yeah, just 1-liner or 2-liner. All the shall does not need to be there. Strike out the whole thing now.
They're not going to show up.
Talking about chapter official.
Party that?
Let's reword that. Let's get through the document, we'll reword this.
Party actions.
Are you in a meeting? They know we have a meeting. One of them should have been here, you know.
Number 3, strike out the whole thing and then let's just say something very simple. The chapter officials will, maybe will is a strong word will be invited to provide insight, maybe an advice and issue related to the community of WhiteHorse. Something real simple.
So, instead of putting shall, I'll put must.
And everything in there.
That's direct, no must.
Let's strike out the whole thing and then we'll just put a 1-liner. Just
I mean, just
kind of
put like,
open-ended.
open communication,
Yeah,
you know?
we'll reword that. Let's go to community service coordinator.
The community service coordinator shall attend each monthly meeting to share information, provide insight, expertise, advise on the board perspective of the local chapter function, responsibility, and guidelines. It shall be the responsibility of the CSC to assist the CLUPC by applying his or her knowledge of personnel, finance, administrative expertise in the development of comprehensive plan. CSC shall assist in maximum utilization of all potential resources. Community service coordinator shall assist in the development of resolution, proposal, letters, memos, and other written reports and documents in support of the CLUPC activities. Community service coordinator shall supervise, organize, arrange clerical staff support to assist with typing, Xerox documents, monitor distributing CLUPC mail, and coordinating telephone and email message for CLUPC members. Strike the whole thing and just put Xerox papers.
This sounds like Angela. I think Angela did this.
Yeah.
Oh, Angela, don't do that.
Yeah.
Without you.
I don't think we need all this. At the time, she was giving herself enough authority. So let's strike the whole thing out. We'll just say something like, coordinator will assist assist in the development, not the assist in the development, but
You know what,
support CLUPC activities.
You know what? We need to reword this.
Yeah.
We don't know what the title 26 says in this one.
Yeah.
I think she did this one according to the article, title 26.
So we're gonna reword 3, 4. I think it just needs to say that CSC will support the club activities. Pretty much that's all it needs to say, including and duties such as Xeroxing, distributing mail, and telephone, email messages to the club members. That's it.
Beer.
Council Delgado, but hopefully Leonard will work with us. He's from local,
If he wins,
if he wins. I don't know about George.
Comment on
You'll
that.
probably only concentrate on each chapter.
As a short comment on accountability. We can strike that, all that out and just put, have the accountability assist in the certification. So I bounce about the LGA certification. So they have to get through that, so that duplicate flow process. So they only got council delegates to run effect on the duplicate flow process.
yeah, the delegate will present the legislation to the council for approval. So that's his only job. He doesn't have to be at any meetings. My goodness, this was like how many years ago? The council delegates don't have 8 chapters, so he can't be at these meetings.
Yeah. So
But probably just just if he wants to attend.
Yeah,
he'll
I mean,
attend.
that's open to anybody, any membership.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they have all these, but if anything, he'll be the one to present the legislation. He's at that governmental level, not at the local. Otherwise, they're babysitting us. We don't need babysitters, I don't think we do.
We need them for.
Yeah, all it is babysitting, the chapter babysitting us, the coordinator, and the delegate.
I don't think it's babysitting, I think it's just guiding us and going in the right direction.
Okay,
We should, Peggy, we should be telling them what to do, not them telling us what to do.
Yeah,
That's
what
how
we're
it's supposed to be.
We're striking all of them out.
yeah.
Because we're the backbones.
Oh.
We're the backbones. Yeah. Okay,
Land board will not.
now that workshop.
Yeah, stretch out the landlord.
Landlord representatives shall attend the library meetings to share information, provide insights, expertise, and advise on landlord activities and issues, provide information on federal, state, county, and tribal natural resources and land administration policy. Yes. And guidelines provided, important information concerning decision on our membership, such as, ecological, agriculture, water protection, grazing permit, and so forth. Okay, Chief.
I was gonna say, keep it as is, but take out this one, so where it says, provide insight, expertise, and advice on land board activities, issues, and then, we can put land in there. That's possible, I think.
There's nothing that says land only, Only your name says the land.
Maybe strike out board, just put land, expertise and advice on land activities, issues, provide information.
That would,
Because landlord is a person.
yeah.
We don't want to know what he does right on his activities.
In Eastern Agency, we have the checkerboard lands. I will tell you. Just for your information, BIA, the land condition that so there's 15 different land types, right? Just we have to deal with 15 types.
So where did you strike out the WhiteHorse Lake chapter?
Second
Oh,
line.
second line.
Then,
Okay, just to send the, oh, okay. Okay, so we'll go down to the final page.
Oh, and then at the end, we should put in, the landlord has the final say-so.
On matters and issues of the CLUPC.
change the title to honorable.
And guidelines provide important information concerning decision on our membership. Concerning decision on our membership, such as ecological,
Ecological.
agricultural, water protection, and grazing permits.
Etc.
Okay, yeah. Conclusion, it says, by mutual effort, the Land Use Planning Community membership, WhiteHorse Lake Chapter officials, council delegate, landlord representative will identify areas of land of commercial, industrial, agricultural, recreational, and other land use.
Use, I don't know how to really put it, but saying that at the end, that in conclusion with that and that, then we have, what was it? Blank now. Change or amend the policy. Right? Or are you gonna stick with that?
We're at,
So at the in conclusion, just add that.
oh, okay.
So that we had to, amend somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
by the CLUPC membership.
Yeah.
If a caution, there's always going to be a complaint saying, hey, you said this right here. Okay, fine, well, a minute.
Wording,
Amendment.
Can be amended
Oh,
from time to time.
by the CLUPC.
Oh. Time to time by the CLUPC member. Okay, now therefore, be it resolved that the community land use plan, the community land use plan committee of WhiteHorse Lake Chapter has developed and approved the attached plan of operation, public participation plan, and scope of work that will serve as guide for today's comprehensive land use plan. The community land use plan committee of WhiteHorse Lake recommends to WhiteHorse Lake Chapter council delegate of WhiteHorse Lake Chapter and the transportation and community development division and authorize land operation, public participation plan, and scope of work. So we haven't do the scope of work and the public participation plan.
Okay, I have a question. So, number 2, the CLUPC of WhiteHorse Lake Chapter recommends to the council delegate, the TCDC, they're no longer TCDC, the transportation, they're called something else.
in the conversation,
Oh, transportation and community, yeah, it's a different wording now. Division of the nomination. Do they approve our plan of operation? No,
I think
they
it's
don't.
done by DOJ, isn't it? Because this one has to be reviewed by DOJ. And it didn't get that far?
Let's look at the LGA
Yeah.
on this, because this is not right, because the only people that certified is the WhiteHorse Lake membership, and then here were their names go. AD, this plan of operation is for WhiteHorse
Whitehorse Lake CLUPC.
CLUPC. All these other people ain't the guy, ain't lady in them when the actual plan is gonna be presented. A resolution, that's where we get the council delegate, the resource committee, and all those folks in Winter Rock. So the plan of operation itself,
Local.
it's local. So this has to be redone, number 2.
Just struck out the,
All the other.
It's just by the community members. So strike out 2, we're not there yet. Our plan of operation, public participation plan, and scope of work. I think that's the next step somewhere. What do you think, Clyde? That's not
I think both of them needs to be in there, don't you think so? Not therefore that we resolve, just add the local and then it moves on. So both of these two needs to be in there. Don't you think so?
No,
Check out the whole that.
The way I understood it, Title 26 was meant to just certify the plan management system for the land use plan. So the plan of operation isn't in there.
It doesn't go to
It
the
doesn't go before the resource
application
committee.
level.
So it's only goes under the chapter.
I think number 1 is,
From there on is the chapter responsibility.
Okay, so we struck at number 2.
so all we need is the plan of operation. Have we even talked about the public participation plan and scope of work?
No.
Presented to the chapter membership and then approve that's it.
Yeah.
And then whoever wants a copy of it, they can look at it.
Community education and participation plan.
So
The
we
plan.
need to do the community assessment
Oh,
so that way it tells us what's needed in the community or what the people want.
Yeah, that's the survey.
So we need to do those three.
Okay, February, strike out motion,
Yeah.
second motion,
Checklist.
and then listen keen.
Lindsay Jean struck out.
Lucita or Lorraine?
Lucita Lorraine.
Okay. And CLUPC, okay, and then,
That was my legal name, Lucita. I started having trouble with Grisham, so I changed it back to my legal name. I don't know where I got Lorraine. I was going by Lorraine all these years when we went to school.
I'm just used to the range.
You know, my little sister's like that too. And she went by Nancy all these years, her elementary and on to high school. And came to find out that her real name is Lolita.
okay, so President Lucita. And then
Lucita Lorraine, yeah.
Lucita
Lucita
Lorraine.
Elm.
Mexican foodie, yeah, it's okay. And then vice president changed, the secretary, that's it. We can strike out Angela Burnside, we don't need anybody else, just the 3 officials there.
Okay, that's it. Motion, second. We can have this retry. Yeah.
Let's read, who's just gonna retype it. Let's get it retyped, get it ready for a final review. So that means a quick meeting again to finalize. Oh, so,
Letterhead, I can, what kind of letterhead among you do you using this one? Ito, ito, ito.
That's it. You can always amend later on. You can add it on.
I want it on there from the start.
So,
we can put in suggestions. We can email them to
Do
you.
some drawings tonight.
Yeah, and then we'll send it, email to everybody. So let's meet, excuse me, madam. My suggestion on our plan of operations, we did a lot, we struck out a lot. It needs to be retyped and then have a final review. And we can meet just real briefly, less than an hour as a committee to kind of finalize before it's presented to the chapter official.
You know what you can do is make the correction, send it to me through the email, that way I'll have it on the screen. Then I can make the correction there.
And then, do we need to meet again one more time to go over the plan of operations, scope of work, and participation plan? Just real quickly before it's presented to the chapter meeting. Do you guys want to do that?
Yeah, we're gonna need to.
Just a real short
Yeah,
meeting.
we can do that.
Okay, we're doing a marathon right now. Yeah, set a date, kind of like do a final review for the 3. Issues. All right.
Yeah, and then we can put it in a spiral, present it to the chapter.
So, we'll be ready.
hello, email. May I? I need a text you chapter secretary, special meeting. The second one that is us, no, is it opens Queensland, others is not. I say that. I got approved wood hauling for the chapter elderly, the special needs that as which in the Basa extra to get haul wood permitting. I got it in the kind of special meeting, but it's us no. I don't think we don't need special meeting. On that one, if I Pika tired of it, it's a I think they would in what? So in a lot of us, we don't want to use our own vehicle. So in so that's on the air. When just buses on she lala.
Frankie,
Nope.
chapter president, vice president?
Secretary.
Oh, okay.
Then say that you cannot text back. No special meeting.
A special meeting, is that on their chapter side or CLUPC?
Chapter 7.
Chapter side, Viva, special meeting, Viva, there's a lot of money in the 10 days. But then, you know what, our people didn't use their money, 10 days, but basically, none of it, no service went out to the people. They deserve it, they need it, let's do it.
So chapter special meeting,
No, chapter special meeting, let them have it. Right? Because,
And again, the way she put it is, I'll be the lesson, should have buses on she lala, and then without my consent, nothing. Lala, that a special meeting at the end, landlord, no, not me. You're asking for a special meeting, not me. I can get guys to help me, you
then
know.
the 10 days to hire, they don't add that, and then people can go over there that have vehicles, they can haul out those woods, because
just like,
never changed up.
just like the way Mark Freeman is doing it.
Oh,
Man, because over the weekend, when I called him, said 12 vehicles that has been on the seeker, so I'm on these, so I pick on these.
you know what they're doing at Mont Paul? That's what they're doing at Mont Paul. Audrey, Oshkosh, the Janchi, the one you were talking about, that's Mark Freeman's project. Audrey, that's skito, Oshkosh, then whatever, everything that you jail, after cut the thing, they load them up and they're out there. And you know what? It's free to the elderly. They don't have to pay. And you know, they pay like $1 a month for $1 a month for 2 loads. So 1, 2, 3. If you say I want that permit up to December, you only pay $3. And you'll haul out 2, 4, 6 loads.
Comment, answer Kate's question. Title 26, duty responsibilities of chapter officials. Chapter president boss, what special call, special meetings.
I say again, it's actually London. I'm just a little bitty person. So,
Just tell her, Title 26 says, the chapter president responsibility.
So let's go on with the agenda.
Adjourn, Archie.
Adjourn? Okay, I'm for adjourn. The guy, so that one, yeah, resolution of kind, we can't touch it because.
Hey, don't look at that. Sit back. Okay, we're at the review date now, now. Very important to brainstorm mission and vision statement. I have a mission and a vision statement. We need to, brainstorm and see what we come up with.
All right, suggestion. The mission statement, vision statement is really short.
Make it short,
So in
one sentence or two
So
to
for
say.
our next short meeting, we'll just one day each.
So, yeah, I'd like to make, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to move C to our next meeting. That way it gives us time to really brainstorm and bring our suggestions to the next meeting.
Okay. Motion by Laverne, second. All in favor? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4.
401.
Okay, we'll do that. And then community assessment inventory. And that's assessment of the pertinent existing data. Wonder what kind of existing data do we have? And did anybody try to find some of those data that were collected prior to, prior committee?
Do you have a copy of the land use plan of fire? Do you have a copy of it? Did you have a plan?
We haven't planned everything like I said. That's for today, yeah. Everything was all planned and ready to go before the public meeting. That is what, COVID.
Paper, somebody, the secretary, who was your secretary?
I was. It's on there.
Dan King. So Dan King is keeping
Paper, then.
It should be linking by he ain't gonna share it.
So we're from,
We're from
square
scratch.
one, from scratch.
Connie. Sorry, I'm sorry. Have you had a chance to read through the?
Yeah.
The community.
So a lot of it needs to be changed.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, well, I can get a money, then we have to go over it again.
Revise this one.
Yeah.
The assessment.
Husband's chair, husband's chair, Connie's really good at, maybe, I don't know if she can relook at like the questionnaire and
Yeah,
revise it?
yeah. I can put one together and then I'll just upload it through email and then
Yeah.
what you suggest and then I can correct those. If you're open to that.
Community assessment. Hey, I haven't presentado commission people need that either. We have the census, there's a lot of other resources, and what they need to now.
Can I make a comment, please, Madam Chair? So, this community assessment, it's huge, it's not just this, it's a huge, it's a huge, community participation. You hold meetings in those communities. So we need to hold a meeting at WhiteHorse, Rincon, and Sand Spring. Get some input from everybody. We may have we can get 2 meetings for each community. And then we can start off with this. This is just one area of community involvement. The best way is to go out to the community and meet with your people and really hear from their own, what's their need. Things change every few months. What they talked about years ago might be different now. So a lot of updating, that's my suggestion.
And then a lot of these people, they don't come to the meetings. Our best approach is go door to door to make assessment. I would call that assessment because
You visualize what's there, so what the needs are. For sure, when I go to my permits, I would do my own assessment on there. So I will get, then I present it to the coordinator. They put that was not finished. Go out there. And that's the best way to do is go out there and look for yourself. Instead of here to net. So and then a lot of these officials, they go by that, It's better to go out there and take a look at them. And like you said, meeting is on that kind of net. Permitting meeting, there's only about 2 or 3 permittees that go out there. That's about it. So that's why I go over to each permittees, and then that's where I have my meeting. One-on-one, eye to eye. So, and then meeting, community meeting, and then, they're not listening. They're talking about whatever's happening out here. They don't listen. And then they'll raise their hands saying, hey, how was that?
just like what Laverne recommended was community-based community meetings. That's an option. And the other one could be a home visit, and then that's the only way. See, we're starting from scratch. And then, go ahead, Chief.
Sure. Could also Klein brought up earlier, the youth don't get involved. So they have needs. The main ones are they don't attend meetings. That the youth are left out. What I'm saying is, I think we need to revise this and revise it. So, do the assessments ourselves, figure out.
Yes.
We revise this one and then go make home visits?
Yeah, so based on what I was thinking, that I can go based off of what was already talked about at the orientation, because there were several people who made their participation in that, so such as Head Start, office space, vet clinic, rec center, laundromat, store. All of you guys heard that these those are public participation right there. So those I can implement in there and use that sample guide and create it that way, based on what was already discussed during the orientation. If that's
That'd be good.
open to you.
So looking at this community education participation plan, we have a unique community because of the three communities. So we have to do a community outreach, which could be a survey on paper, also door to door, and also community meetings. I like to run the community meetings if that's okay with you guys. I like to do one at Rincon, at Sand Springs, and WhiteHorse. And we probably can all get involved because it has to show that somewhere in our minutes and in our, that we have to provide that. And educational activities, it could be just before the meeting, before the community outreach meeting, we could have educational activities. Just kind of educating the public what we're doing. And then they help us develop the mission statement. We can present what we put together. It will be like him really deciding what the mission statement will be, combine the three communities. Rincon Marcus's needs and Sand Springs needs are not the same as WhiteHorse Lake chapter. We want to, sounds like with what the chapter officials were planning is really focusing on WhiteHorse, but that's not the way it is. So we got to get the other communities involved and hear from them. So I think these little meetings will be very helpful in that way. Is educating the community first what our land use plan is and what we're doing, show them, share with them like on a PowerPoint, and just educate them. So we're going to need a few meetings. If they can't come to the chapter house, we have to do it in the community setting, at least twice, I think. Twice the community will work. Yeah, a lot of people don't come to the chapter house for whatever reason.
Yeah, so that's where the first public hearing, that's where we need to do that. And along with the education participation plan, so kind of going based off of the checklist again and going down from there versus hopping everywhere. So all of that combined, we could do together.
Well, like she said, she likes to do the community meetings. I like that home visit, the individual.
Yeah, I mean,
where you will take pictures, of, everything out there, Gosh, I noticed what they did to me when went home visit for, the election, what was it called? When we were collecting names for re-election. And we came just to collect names, but they all went up and said, I said, I'm very sorry I don't have a camera. I wish I had a camera so I can take a picture and take it back to the chapter officials with the Shnoya. Well, in my case, I like home visits.
yeah, I mean, we can still do that, but in a way, when you do show up, have like a plan, have something to present so you know what you're talking about. So if we have some of the suggestions that were made during the orientation, we can go based off of that. That's like a sample first. And then whatever inputs the community make, then that's when we add those to the demographic survey. Then we can start handing them out to the first public hearing. Make sense?
Yeah, let's go to page 16. Let's take a look at our timeline. So, is that okay, Madam? I'm sorry, I jumped in here. Go ahead. Page 16.
I think
That's a
we
plan.
need to have a house rule here, where we're gonna talk or we're gonna explain something. don't forget to raise your hand so that I will notice you. Give you the floor. Okay, so we won't avoid chaotic, stuff like that. I'm John.
In order.
Okay, go ahead, Roberta.
Okay, if we can refer to page 16, community-based land use plan timeline. So we did the orientation this month, October. We're developing the timeline and our plan of operation. That's October. Now, in a couple of days, it'll be November. So work sessions that we talked about kicks off next month, it looks like. So, and then work session number 2, the manual. Our first public hearing is going to be in November, December, January. Our 60-day comment period begins. So we have a lot of work for the first 2 months. Case in just kind of the outline.
So, okay.
Go ahead.
So, this is where I created this timeline. So it has all the checklists again. It has all of that information. This information is actually on here. So I put the months at the very top, 2022, 23, and so like how she just said, the timeline, November through December. Like you're gonna take on the first part, vice president, second president, secretary, third, fourth, myself, and then possibly Clyde. He can get some mapping information because he has access to those. So he can put his name in here, and then he can this is how much is completed. I got this much information on that specific title. So then I have the month here at the very top. So this is actually within a year time frame that I have right here. If you want to take a look at it.
Do you have copies?
No, that's just a
That's what
suggestion.
I showed you, photo.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's get
yeah.
Plan of operation, okay.
show more trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think our first assignment is, after our second meeting is the community assessment. That's gonna be a big one. That's
Yeah.
gonna
Very
take-
important.
That's gonna be 2 months.
Yes. So each, oh sorry, but I forgot to raise my hand. But one more thing is taking
Excuse me,
each,
First, let's
oh, it's just right here.
Yeah.
So each one will take, how you just said, it'll take 2 or 3 months. So if we take on each responsibility for each one, that way it'll move things forward instead of doing one by one and waiting for one meeting at a time or waiting for the next meeting. So if we actually just take on a responsibility and then we can move forward with it quicker.
With my experience, community assessment, that's gonna be everybody's job. Going out, reaching out to people, because we have a good number, probably close to 1,000 people with the 3 communities.
Yeah.
So everybody can take a community and work with them, and then we just kind of all help each other. If I'm at Sand Spring, somebody can come and help me out there conducting a meeting or making home visits, assessment, knocking on doors. It's going to be all team members for the inventory and assessment of data. I think that could be the planner. I'm thinking it's going to be entering data
That information that we collect out there here, we'll give it to the.
See, that's another thing we need to decide is
Yeah.
outline, what are we gonna ask people? This is just a helper page. What is permanent to our communities? Water, roads, land-based issues, aging of a cow. And then we have an agenda, taking it to each community, starting off. First of all, we need to educate the community, what is this land use plan? And then do the assessment with them. People will come to the meeting, have food, and and then they'll tell you, let's include them, but it'll check a meeting, go do your assessment there. And a lot of our kids travel, they only come home on weekends, so some of this work can be done on weekends too. That I know, working with communities and assessment, it's going to take a lot out of this. That's probably one of the biggest, is getting the assessment.
Actually, go out there, do the assessment, because a lot of these resources, a lot of your information, they say is confidential because of this HIPAA law, it's best to go out there and assist the community. That way we know.
I only have page 24 to 32.
Hey, yeah, so just start out with the list, the one that you said you're gonna revise. Start that one.
You mean the demographic, you mean?
Yeah, email it to us and see if we can,
Add stuff to it.
add, do
Maybe
some
do it
insertion
on
in there.
Google Share.
Mm-hmm.
That way, it automatically corrects itself as we type. If you do Google Share.
And then also, I also took this off of the internet, and I know the Navajo Nation also utilizes it. Is a lot of the information I got from this. So if you would like to get a copy, I can make you a copy. Although I did this in colors. So it is, I don't know if you know about that. It is planning approaches, process and implication guide, drafted for the Navajo Nation. So this was created back in 2016, and it was created by Arizona University State. So a lot of the information we were talking about is in here. It kind of guides you what we're talking about. So if you would like a copy, I could get a copy, but I would have to charge a fee just because of ink.
Or you email it to me, I can make a copy.
Yep.
I know a place where they can make, if you have more copies to make, they can do it for free.
I can email it, and you could do it like how you want it.
And then a lot of,
Copy,
just
Yeah.
a reminder that a lot of these assessment
Yeah, okay.
information has to pertain to our
Yeah, the ink,
No, they
yeah.
are.
communities, yeah. So you say the data was done in Arizona University.
Oh, yeah, you
Based
can,
on what
yeah,
studies was done.
We can use this as a guide.
yeah.
It is good, I'm telling you.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is good. This will be very helpful. We can
use it as a guide, yes.
As a guide, yeah.
But
Yeah.
the actual assessment has to reflect our community.
Yeah, that's where I was saying that, based on the last orientation, that during that orientation, a lot of people contribute to what they needed in their community. So I'm gonna go based off of that first. Then once we start going out and start adding slowly.
Enjoy it.
Yeah,
I like
we
it.
have to start off with something, like right now, we have
Yes.
nothing.
Yes.
We have
I
to
think
start
that's a
from-
good guide,
I think
yes.
we're starting from square one right now.
All right, so this will be revised on Google Sheet. You'll give us copies of that. And then timeline. Look at the timeline. You shall do the timeline scope of
And
Don't you have the timeline?
he has it. The
You
timeline,
need to
so.
make a copy of it and we all query.
Put it on Google form, yeah. Google form is, a Google share is the best way,
Yeah, I just brought that just in case.
yeah.
Just to see what it would look like. And if you were okay with it. Yeah, okay.
We're done with that. Revise this one. And then the timeline goes.
December, next December, we're looking, not December, October, November, December, January, February. Next September, we should be pretty much completed. If we stay with it 1 year, Jen.
Can I say something again?
Go ahead.
So the budget, I also created a budget on Excel. So we put our names and then the project role and the number of months, and then we put our salary, travel, supplies. We can list supplies, like for him, he needs a computer, maybe pens, paper, notepad, other expensive maybe you need for this to go through. So I created that. I don't know if you want to do month to month or if you want to do like from November to December.
The secretary will keep track of the budget.
I mean, you could just fill it in and then I can,
Let me see, Sean.
This brings a good,
This
Point.
one, yeah. We can do it separate, don't you think so? Under the budget, like supplies, separate from.
for month to month, you mean? Like for each month for the
No,
month?
I don't think they'll buy supplies every month.
Yeah, so we'll do it like a,
Who? Chapter?
the CSE.
Well, just want to do a one-time deal, you know, get a lot.
So,
Just, like the order supplies in Lagi, just put some more in there.
yeah, so I did one for the 2022 and then this is the following year for 2023. So we can do the same, if say like something comes up on the first one, we can add additional for the following month.
See, what do you have on there right now?
I don't have anything, but he did mention a computer,
a laptop probably.
a laptop.
I have some listed. If I miss anything, go ahead and put it in there. I have the flip chart. Remember the
That
one
would be
that
a
did the sheets?
packet, yeah, that would
The
be a
sheets.
packet. Because we're looking at the year, we might as
Yeah.
well purchase for a year. Or
Okay.
for 6 months first, and then the next 6 months or the next budget. When's the next budget? Or budget cycle?
It's out,
I
it
think
starts October 1st.
So see, we have to buy for a whole year. We don't know what we're gonna get until the next budget cycle. So
So-
we have to do in package.
Yeah, flip chart, markers, dry erase, Xerox papers, laptop. We definitely need a laptop.
Xerox, a lot of Xerox.
Yeah, pens, pencil, paper clips, binders. We need binders like this. kind of high.
To keep our papers in.
Yeah. And then we need ink cartridges.
Put folders in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, add your ink in there.
Sticky notepads,
Yeah, ink.
tabs, dividers, tape recorder. And what was it, Laverne?
I was gonna say that now that you're gonna need a laptop, I don't know who else needs a laptop, but maybe meeting Bugsy, Kaya orientation, he said it's gonna stay at the chapter. You're not gonna take it no.
Yeah.
But we can put that in the resolution that the secretary will hand carry the laptop. We can put it in the resolution because there's no sense in keeping your laptop over there. If we have a meeting in Crown Point, if you have to go to a meeting somewhere, why would the laptop sit at the chapter house? You need to carry it with you.
Yeah, we need to make our own agreement.
Yeah.
Hold on, Rita King, old laptop, we bought a laptop for her, and she never returned. That's a tribal property,
So,
I'll use some time to keep the minutes and all that in there.
Yeah, folders.
Get a box or something like that, you know?
also you need to have it on the laptop, and each of us should have a copy. That way, it's not gonna get lost. I'll have copies, everybody will have copies.
Because there's those folders and the,
Oh, those modules in the computer.
Yeah, that goes to
Det är det inte John so your backup is your
a stapler. Put a stapler in there too.
But see, I thumb drive, see,
Correction tape,
Yeah.
I can go to sleep, whatever you type that. Put it in there for me. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah. ABC.
Katie, us on other tree, taking good care of it. I checked it, it's on, who makes those rules?
You know what? We can even order an internet home device for you. Keep it at your house, do your type, and get your emails there.
yeah.
It can be done.
I need to reactivate my email.
See, if you don't have internet, I have that in my house, that device.
Which one?
I pay $74 a month.
She don't know the show.
On the LGA Nanakla. Specifically for that.
But you know what? You don't need internet. You just go to Word and type in everything. You don't need internet to do your minutes.
I used to get it on my laptop, but that store. Well, my neighbors broke into my house.
Okay, we were on budget. Do we go to budget now? Aisha, it's called Akani.
Yeah, I did
You're
the
done with
budget.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
all.
that budget includes our stipend. And then in our budget, we need to include the trainings, the type of trainings we need in our budget. And we need trainees in our community because there is a professional fee of $2,000 in there.
Oh.
So we need somebody that will train us for LGA. And I don't know what other trainings we would like to have. My number one is the LGA 5 management.
The five management system.
5 management system.
That can come up.
That could be included in our budget. Then we can manage it. We don't manage it, go later.
The public hearing might cost us money too.
Oh,
We
yes.
have 2 of them. So we gotta set money aside for the public hearings.
The professionals.
Refreshments and all that will be included in the public hearing.
But then again, can help.
Chair, just for the record, LGA is in the budget for.
You know what, this is what I got from the chapter was local LGA, it says, I think it says, Franny put it 5,000. And then LGA. And then the carryover is $26,547.82. Oh, that's the carryover.
How much is that?
$26,547.82.
Oh, okay, that's the
And
total
then,
then.
no, and then in that one, there's a professional fee of $2,000. In that one, there's a travel of $800. This is what she dropped me down when I asked for the budget.
Okay, 2,000 for professional development
Yeah,
for.
professional, that's for professional fee, like if we request for a trainer,
Oh,
we can use that professional fee for the trainer.
okay. And then 800 per
It just says travel 800,
Oh, like, for like
Mileage.
mileage or
No.
hotel?
just the mileage.
Hotel's gonna be expensive.
We can use that LGA for the hotel and meals.
Probably the cheapest.
Alea, since we're on the neighborhood track, let's see, what we did with that, we went to training different areas, TA, using the chapters. On the
TA?
Yeah.
Travel
travel.
authorization.
We went with that and then, you
Is
know.
there money for it, TA?
Oh, chapter IB, not ours, GEB, use something, and so for TA and travel, it didn't come out of our budget. It came out of the chapters.
Yeah. Because you need time, baby, I'm going to start that. Anyways, the more, but if we get a trainer, I'm very sure they'll come out to WhiteHorse for 2 days. They, winter rubber, gallet, the
Because we utilize for network, they order fireworks to use that for facilities. And then what we use in Winter Road is the sports complex.
The Cuban Cafe.
Okay, but just put that in the budget, you know, the training
Okay.
and the trainers in there. You know, we need to, really actually sit down and say, this is how we're gonna use our budget. Maybe if you can put that in those categories and then email it to us.
Okay.
But on general, yes, we just say trainings, but on what? Trainings and work sessions, and yeah, not only trainings, there'll be a work session. And right now, we mostly focus on LGA. Okay, so that's where we're at. Community assessment, we're done. Budget, we just did, the chapters well approved our stipend for 120. We did got it then. Meeting stipend is in there. The training and local governance act, the financial system, you know, we did the operation supplies. So, do we have any questions so far? Now, we don't have any questions, then we go on to the next item on the agenda, which is action item. That we cannot do any action unless we report to the planning meeting. We report to the planning meeting. You know, pass this resolution to certify the CLUPC officers. The plan of operation still is incomplete because we don't have the participation plan and we don't have the scope of work. Shouldn't it? Or shall they just do the plan of operation?
For the resolution?
Yeah, the plan of operation is separate.
And in there, it includes all three of them. Remember in the second section, 1.2.1.2, therefore it be resolved, we should have just put the plan of operation. And if we included the participation plan, the scope of work, it's not attached to the plan of operation for donating. The plan of operation, any plan of operation. Yeah, down here. Conclusion. Use planning committee. What, somewhere it says that it's.
I think we can get a scope of work.
Yeah, it's separate too.
I think we can get this before our next meeting, before the chapter meeting. We plan to meet again.
Okay.
I can put something together and then present it to you guys and see what you think too with the scope of work.
Okay.
I'll just go based on this or timeline.
Maybe the safety.
Yeah, that's where the scope of work, that's why this is created.
Yeah, it's just a timeline, yeah.
Yeah, it also includes the timeline, again, like October, for the month of October. So the scope of work is all right here. So we really wouldn't need to create another one.
So, if we're gonna present this plan of operation, we have to have the participation plan.
I think maybe just be more specific with each plan.
Yeah, that's going based off of the checklist. And then once we start like signing up for it, and then that's where I go more into detail, because putting that all on one was hard. But then once we start signing up, I can like make it wider where like we could add additional stuff.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
why.
Yeah, so this is like a good outline of
The
the scope of work. And we just need to work on it. Can you put it on Google Share?
Yep.
That way we can add as we go along. So let's have it all three ready, Madam Chair.
So when are we gonna set the next, meeting, just a quick?
That could be just kind of a quick meeting.
Just a
less
quick
than
chat.
an hour. I think we can do it. Yeah, I see one Danish.
Not before the planning meeting.
When's the
Yeah.
planning meeting?
Tuesday, no, or second Wednesday. I would say,
November 9th.
She's my friend.
I would say, what's the date? Sure, come down.
And I have Sophia, what's the comedy?
Yeah,
Hela Hotla Mossen.
I'm good.
yeah, I'm gonna have it to go for this.
Oh, okay, meat and cheese taking. Somebody,
But to us,
So
Okay, November.
let me see, I'm trying to find the date.
November 9th is the planning meeting.
November 9th, 8th planning meeting, yeah.
and then on the 8th is the election day for the Navajo Nation.
Election day.
Veterans Day is on the 11th. I'm very sure they're gonna be doing something on Veterans Day. I think they were planning on doing something.
Say Veterans Day, I thought, we're having our, District 20 land board meeting on that day.
on the 11th?
Veterans Day on that day, yeah. Because there's a lot of coverage that we need to do, and couldn't that need yet.
On 11th?
Huh?
11th, November 11th?
11th, 9th, so, yeah.
Night on the, yeah.
7 on National Monday.
What about the 7th?
On the Monday, the 7th will work, yeah.
Let's see.
In the afternoon shall be on Monday, on the 7th.
So you could do like a 1 p.m. maybe?
Let's see, quick check.
So quick meeting.
Let me see,
Maybe we can do Zoom?
no, we actually, I have to actually look at the document too. And she don't have the Zoom. She don't have the Zoom. What time, love? What time will it?
1 p.m. maybe?
One.
Will work. 1? Okay.
Okay, what date is that?
November the 7th?
7th.
Mm-hmm.
November 7th.
7 at what time?
At 1 p.m.
1 o'clock.
That's on a Monday.
Yes, correct.
That's next Monday.
Yep,
Yes, correct.
2 weeks.
No, next
No,
week.
next week. Not this following Monday, but the following one.
Not tomorrow.
7.
This Monday is the 30th.
Yeah,
Or
so next
31st.
week.
The following week,
Oh.
still 2 weeks.
No,
Me.
1 week.
it's next week.
Okay, so that's
I asked where we're gonna meet.
it's on a Monday, so let's meet at Senior Center.
Senior
I'm gonna make arrangements.
Okay.
Let's meet up on the hill at Senior Center. After this, Amelia.
And I think the chapter will be open too, so we can let the CSC.
I don't want to approach the chapter.
Until we have our resolution.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought Angie was bad.
Alright.
So the plan is we're gonna present all three, the scope of work, the plan of operation, and what's the third one?
Participation, budget.
Budget and then the demographic.
Big up. Then we'll move on. Oh, brainstorm mission and vision though.
Oh, we
Oh,
could,
yeah.
Big up.
We should have that. When that's-
And then the date and time of our meeting, when our date and time of our meeting will be, we need to put that in the
Regular
plan of
meetings,
operation. Maybe, yeah, Taylor. So do we have any other questions, announcements, any? Like I said, I'm gonna find out the correct, I thought I put in the, yeah, I put in the correct date, and then November 16. Put in it, finito. So, let's see. I think November 16 is the chapter meeting. November 9 is the planning meeting. I'll put it in.
Veterans meeting, November 9th, not the 11th, like,
Hello?
Okay, so I think we completed our agenda here. So our next one is going to be November 7th. It's going to be at 1 o'clock. It's going to be at Senior Center, I'm very sure.
I should go down to the
I've been having my school board meeting up there. The local people.
So are we gonna advertise for our meeting this time?
Yeah, we have to, huh?
Oh, you know what? Let's do the budget real quickly, like, somebody have it figured out?
we have supplies, what we've written was supplies. I just written down the LGA, trainee. We don't know exactly how much they're gonna charge.
Just a rough estimate on the budget.
Okay, so our stipends, I did 120 times 5 times 12 months.
Yeah.
That's just, what about special meetings, like, shall we do like additional on our resolution the first few months based on this? Let's see, we're having a meeting, we're gonna have 2 meetings in November. And then maybe,
But we can only do one main meeting per month though.
After that, because right now I'm trying to
Okay.
Special
get
meeting.
situated
Okay.
here. But after that, they once a month.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm trying to get everything situated.
we'll have our regular meeting. And then the first, I think, based on this, our plan of our schedule here, I think the next 4 months is gonna be very crucial. Because November, December, January, February, 4 months, we should have 2 meetings per week, maybe 2. Per month. Because by March, we should have a manual. Our manual should be being edited. Okay?
Okay.
So right now, November, we're gonna have a regular meeting, and also November 7th, that's not our regular meeting. That's just getting ready for the chapter meeting. Autumn, December, I'm not opening. What we put together, we're gonna have our regular meeting, and then what we need, we're gonna need a second meeting. Then February, I'll have to do a March meeting, then we can start having our once a month meeting. What do you guys think?
Yes.
We can add that in our plan of operation and in our resolution.
Now, what about people, like I said, we're just not starting. We need
Yeah.
a lot of help, some extra time.
So that's in addition, let me do some calculation again.
You know what? Okay, it's
Okay, so 120 times 5 times 4 months, that would be added to this. So that would be 9,600 just in stipend. We have the regular stipend, regular meeting, 12 months. That is 7,200. This is at 120 per member. And then 2,400 is additional 4 months. Additional 4 months. At the beginning, that would be from November through February. November 2022 to February 2023. That's the additional 2,400 for the total of 9,600. That should include it in our budget, the resolution, and plan of operation.
So, minus the one we have, yeah. The budget that we
Yeah,
have.
20, subtract that from the 20,
Minus 27,
6,000,
26,
5.7.
500 and... Where is mine?
5.7.
547. 26, 547, 482, okay, minus 9,600, 16,947, 82 cents. Or 16,947, 82 cents.
17,000? You showed it?
16.
Oh, that's 17.
Oh,
Good
okay.
thing we're double checking. Mama shop.
Okay, 26, 547, 82. Yeah.
I have 17,967.62 cents.
16,947, 82 cents. Okay.
We need a third calculator.
26,547.
What you total there?
26, 547, 82.
Oh, see, my total is different, 27,500.
26.
Budget 826.
Is that our actual
This
budget?
is the actual.
Okay,
This is the calculation
okay, 26 major.
from the secretary.
26,000?
$26,547.82.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
you calculate,
Minus 9,600.
gives us 16,000.
947.82.
Okay, now minus kanske tjej kunde ni job PD 2000 tjejerna. Minus the 2000, minus the supply tjej kunde.
We don't know that one yet because we have to get like an estimated
I
amount.
wonder where they order printers.
Could be, I can ask CSC.
Let's go with office supplies,
Office supplies?
They're more cheaper than where you read these catalogs.
So I would say a good, for a year, probably like 1,500. Maybe around there.
Yeah, something like that. The most thing that's gonna cost is the laptop
Yeah.
and the recorder, the meeting recorder. We're gonna need that voice recorder for the minutes.
Your laptop's gonna cost like 600, and then recording's gonna be like $900, I mean, $90, $92 around there.
I'll be about.
Try to get to, printer too, like Walmart, it's only like $50. It's a lot. My kids out there, instead of buying ink for it, ink's like $90, you know, color, alcohol. So instead of buying just the ink, all you do is just buy another printer, like $50, you know, you save what, $30 right there. I mean,
Printers, I'll go Walmart now.
well,
Can you hold over the budget discussion?
Okay. Okay, so, this is what we came up with, Joe, budget. $26,547.82.
Is what's at,
This is where it's at total, yeah.
yeah, minus our stipend.
Our stipend is gonna go $16,947.82. Okay. What's this, 2,000?
That's the PD, our professional development or training that you.
Okay, 2,000. So it came out to $14,947.82. Auto, 1,500.
Supplies, roughly.
Came out to $13,447.82.
And then you said 800 for travel?
800 for travel.
They don't include. These are rough estimates.
travel. Right there, that one don't make sense to me.
Just
Touch that.
Is it for one person
yeah.
or this is gonna use that for our miners or what? To aid that?
You know, what's left in the knowledge? No, what's left, we still need to plan for the public hearing, refreshments and stuff like that.
I think the government mileage rate is probably, let's see, I'm looking at it right now.
That's right.
5.54 or something like that.
But then that one, they should be over that.
For the government.
Yeah,
Oh, it says here 62.5 cents per mile. So that's going to require,
But then the one nation wage.
They ought to be at least,
They usually go by the.
about 45 cents, I'll say that.
I would
Of a
say
sheet.
a good, at least some kind of training, 2 or 3 this year. I'm thinking for our members. We can do recalculation. We may have to ask the TA from the chapter for our travel, because it's just limited funds. So that we can.
Now, we're gonna have help somewhere. We're not just gonna utilize art. Don't hear that 13 grand, so we gotta stretch it out until next October.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, we would run out like April. Hold on, I see how to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we
So
need to
for
say that.
travel and training need on these.
Yeah, I like that, we gotta deal with the, chapter, on it.
Okay.
You know what, Sean, is Raymond Sosi still working for LGA?
No, I think he retired, but you know, it's a lot.
Aren't you not missionary at LGA? That I'm wondering if you can just volunteer and train us.
Oh, straight up, and there's a lot of, stuff like that, we can come, LGA. If not, you have whatever stuff on LGA, because they don't utilize them that much anymore, but there's a lot of them that knows what's going on, you know, donate their time to us. Hey, that's it. All the meetings we're gonna go through, yeah. Some of them will be intervening with mine, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only one person. DNC meeting that day, there's 5 of us. So maybe not, that won't be all the time. Once in a while, you can run the meeting without me, because I might be at this then meeting somewhere, but I'm gonna try to go to all the meetings. So something we gonna put it on the date that I have to attend the other meeting. But I can set a regular meeting, see, per month. Like this, next month, yeah, 16, 17, to 18, I'll be in the office. It's got to do with our MOU, or MOA, with the 3 branches that try cooperative, they set up with the BLN, BIA, Navajo Nation, right now, yeah, Chicho, we're way down there at the bottom of the food chain. And here, back in the 80s, don't know what we were up there, we were telling BIA, Navajo Nation, and BLM what to do. They don't want us to come back up. We're working on this.
It's supposed to be self-determination. You could argue your points by saying self-determination. Navajo Nation practices self-determination, not BIA. Those are old days. BIA told us what to do, but not anymore because of that Act, Self-Determination Act.
Yeah, and again, we have to deal with all groups at our level, land board, Jota. The reason why is checkerboard. There's state land, access state land, BLM land, and fee land. So we had to interact with all 3 departments. It didn't matter.
Okay.
But I'm gonna try to sorry.
What about the other thing is our meeting location? We're supposed to write a resolution, a letter to the chapter.
Yeah, siya yung kasi pag G.
No.
Checklist. Oh, requesting meetings 8-4. Okay.
Joe, we need a clarification why, it cannot be open for us on weekends.
So names up, draft up a resolution. You make resolutions, right? Draft up one. So we need the chapter house available, the key.
Probably just a letter because we can't drive for resolution.
Not here, but yeah, later on, when you get back back to your house. I would do a resolution, pick the name in detail. Letter, not standing, it's gonna be resolution. We can discuss it here.
Yeah.
But maybe names on draft one. Present it. I mean, at our next meeting on the 7th, we can change it or add to it. Honoring that the final copy, we can present it at the chapter meeting. I think that would work. So we need a place, which will be the chapter house. We want access 7 days a week. We want a key given
just a facility usage,
Yeah. 7 days.
you know, if you don't trust us, you know, why not just open the door and close it back up when we're done? That way you don't have to give us the key, because what his main concern is, I don't want nobody to duplicate the key. That's what he's saying.
But this is the way I look at it. CSC, they have a privilege to the chapter house. That department, they don't necessarily have to be at the chapter house. The chapter house is for the people. CSCA, they're just parked there. They shouldn't be taking over the chapter house. It's the people and the chapter official that have the right to the chapter house, especially the community membership. It's a public building. If there's a wedding on a weekend, if there's a reception on a weekend, after hours, any time that people want to gather, 7 days a week, it's open to them.
We'll find some documents.
Yeah.
I'm gonna search some documents and see what I can find.
That department, the CSC department, from Winter Rock, their office.
DCD.
ASC,
ASC,
Administrative
Service Center.
yeah, they don't have a say-so about the chapter building and the chapter usage. If we wanted them to have his meeting at at Crown Point, we can request that. We just say, ASC, come over, we want him, or this department out of here, that provide a place for them somewhere with the non-nation government in Crown Point. We can do that. They don't necessarily have to be in the chapter. They're there because the space, and then it connected to the house meeting, just because we had different ones in the past. I think Angie really ruined our program there. That's my feeling.
I think that's what he's really operating on too, is Angie, that's what you call it, because a lot of time he always mentioned Angie said, you know. We don't have Angie here anymore, you know.
Yeah. So, look into ASC, call there and ask. They'll tell you.
I'll go beyond KCBK because I know we've dealt with KCBK a lot of times, but we didn't go to this yellow man. Yellow man?
Yellow horse.
Yellow horse. So I'll ask. I haven't changed Sunday, you know, because they went and scheduled the orientation for us, you know, and also I can CC KCBK and I
That department, they should be paying the chapter monthly fee. If the chapter decides to ask that department to pay rent, the chapter can. They're just using the office. It's just a privilege. They don't have a right. So the people have a right.
maybe I'm now trying to find out that, see, through the chapter meeting, we've been asking at the planning meeting, the chapter meeting, we want our chapters open, check the deed and all that to, you know, regular usage. Like, Pentile School is open now, the children are back in the residential hall. Senior Citizen is open, check the deed, no, yeah, but the chapter, well, I think we just throw
We've learned by now with the vaccine availability that we can meet everywhere, like here. Look at this place. It's a public place. People are eating. As long as you practice your 6 feet distance and mask and hand washing, all that, it's okay in the state of New Mexico. So I know. They try to limit, from the government, they try to limit this, but as long as there's protocols being practiced, it's possible.
The other thing, well, okay, if COVID was I'm afraid of COVID. My mom died from the church in Korea. too, and then boxes and boxes here and there, you know, they should be on. Anyways, that was the way it is, that it belongs to the public, it belongs to the people. You never run that.
Go back to the rules and laws from ASC. I will leave that.
Are we at the turn?
Oh, okay, so I think we're done now, yeah. So we went
sure.
through the agenda.
Just waiting 2 minutes and some, I just have to bring something up. I'll just make it really short. That's just always out there. Monday night, my cousin's house burnt down. Isabel's it. So the cause is their kids stole their parents' meth down. That's what burned it down. So meth is drugs, alcohol is a big problem in our community. So they're on the prohibition also. So far, 3 houses have burned down in a year almost. At Baker's, which one? Last year, December, same thing. They were cooking meth. And I just thought these fish actually. I guess that was exploded or burned down with 2 trailers and 3 vehicles. So then Isabel was not then Bobby Susie's house. So anyhow, so meth is becoming a big problem in our community. So they asked each other to test the room. So hey, Chair, just
Okay.
for that reason, what after the leader and I don't know if to check that this one. But you guys
Oh, you know, okay, bye.
Motion for adjourn.
The last, what do you say?
Madam Chair, I just want to make a side note. We talked a lot about we spoke about certain things, and the meeting is being recorded. I'd just like to request that all our meeting and what we say stays with the meeting, with the club.
It's actually public. It has to be public information.
Yeah,
It's
and
not.
He has the authority to put it in public.
Regardless, even on that handbook, it does say public participation. In order for this whole thing to occur, public participation is number 1. They have to know everything. You cannot hide anything.
Unless we go into executive and there's no report.
But then there's, because right now there's only us here except her, you know? That's what she's talking about. I know a lot of these other information.
And I also have a recorder.
I know a lot of these other information, personal information will go into executive session. Then we need to motion and, go into executive session and exit to motion to go into those business. But a lot of these things, the CLUPC committee had a meeting and they were talking about you, so-and-so. We don't need none of those things to be out there. That's what we're talking about.
It has to
We
be,
want that to stay.
regardless, it has to be public participation. The public need to know what's going on, the plan and everything.
That one
Yeah.
needs to be given, yes.
And even this meeting, because we made it
Personal
official.
comments and stuff like that needs to stay in the meeting. That is usually like that in every meeting. Other than that, what we discussed, the plans and everything, it can go in the newspaper, on radio, and mass media, it's okay. So like I said, we need to have a set rule in this meeting. We need to have a house rule, and we need to go by that house rule. We need to work together as a teamwork. I don't like that. That's going to take us nowhere. Pigeon Michelle, Pigeon Michelle. It's not a place for you to work, you know, for the people and with the people. There's the door to the thing, yeah. So I'm thinking, we need to get a lot of these things done. It's a lot of work. Okay?
Motion, right?
Okay, motion by, second by. Okay,
Oh, time.
time is, let me check my time. 1:55. Adjourn at 1:55. All in favor, say aye. Okay, majority. So, thank you for your participation. And we'll see you on the 7th again.
1 o'clock. And location HCBA,